derivative still.
There she is. There she is.
Greetings and felicitations.
And once the lovers never really leave us.
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 85. And I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Today is another wonderful Friday because we're continuing our journey in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Today we are reviewing The Prisoner of Azkaban. And I'm excited to talk about Gary Oldman as Sirius Black, Dementors, Shrieking Shack, Wormtail, Buckbeak, Remus Lupin, and his friends, and how they relate to Harry's story. However, before we get into the deep dive of the movie, I have to pay respects and condolences to Maggie Smith's friends, fans, and family. She, of course, played Professor McGonagall in the movies. We didn't have as much time last time to spotlight all of these incredible actors, and she's one of them. I do have my book Harry Potter page to screen, so for her I will paraphrase some of it, and then we'll introduce the panel and briefly say some words for her before we continue on with the movie discussion. Because when I saw that news this morning, I realized we can't have a Harry Potter stream without mentioning her, right? So
yeah, she's a legend.
She is. She's
all there is to it. Yeah, it was hard to hear that news this morning when I got the text from my brother-in-law.
I know what.
I don't believe it.
I'm really sorry. I meant to put it in the group chat so everybody was aware to have time, but I wasn't even aware until a few minutes ago, and I
wasn't aware of this till just now.
Oh no! Yeah, she was 89. I mean, apparently natural causes. You know.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry that she's passed. She was obviously in these movies, all of them, and she actually first worked with Daniel Radcliffe on David Copperfield, which is where the last director, Christopher Columbus, realized he wanted Daniel Radcliffe as Harry, but she was working with him on that. And she was the first choice for Minerva McGonagall, and she was already a fan of the series. She said, "I thought it was such a terrific book for kids. When it came up, I thought that it would be fascinating to do. I was greatly interested to see how they were going to create this magic." And she's won Academy Awards in Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress categories. For the former for the 1969 drama The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, and then a decade later in California Suite. And unfortunately, I haven't seen either of those, but now I guess I need to. She says about wearing the witch's hat and robes, "What people don't realize," she said, "is that jobs like these don't come up very often. This story has caught everyone's imagination, including grown-ups. And how often do you get to walk around as a wizard with..."
I mean, she's kind of like Alan Rickman. To me, she is McGonagall. She personifies it. Every fiber of her being screams McGonagall. And even the way she was described in the book, that, you know, she had that voice where she just could command the whole room and have all the kids terrified of her. You know, that some teachers just had that magic that for some reason they just were able to command with a look, with a word. And
exactly right. And yeah, in the book, Harry says, "Just looking at her, I feel like I'm in trouble."
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. She was the embodiment of Professor McGonagall. She was she was born for that role. She was absolutely 100% perfect for it. She was. You couldn't have asked for anyone, like with Snape. You couldn't have asked with anyone better to play McGonagall. No one at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times when I watch the movie and then I go back to reading the books, sometimes the book still doesn't have the movie's voice, but it does for her. And there are several characters that achieve that, and she definitely does. And I want to welcome the panel, though. I don't think I said hello. Hello, thank you for being here, Dalek 451, and remembering Maggie Smith as well as Miss Martin Muses. Honored to have you, and welcome to the panel, Scotty R37.
Hello.
You're the one who, that you're why I found out about the news, the awful news today of the passing of Maggie Smith. Did you have anything you wanted to say about her?
Well, and this is usually how it goes when it comes to anybody who's passing away, is my preference is to celebrate the life as opposed to wallow in the loss. And maybe wallow's too harsh a word, but I really admired Maggie Smith, and she's also one of those people that I thought would always be around. And yeah, but I'm grateful for all of the art and inspiration that she has given so many people. And so her talent will be missed, but it can always be treasured. And if you ever want to see Maggie again, why not watch a Harry Potter movie or Sister Act for that matter? She was great, charming, lovely, witty. And when she was a younger lady, va-va-va-boom.
And Ash D says, so sad about her death. And it's good to see you here, Ash. She's an iconic actress. My favorite role she did was in Ya-Ya Sisterhood. As
right. Was that the Traveling
somebody
Pants?
mentioned. And
I think it was the
hello
Traveling
to
Pants.
Lemon Pie.
Lemon!
And also, Alan Trioscillator is here.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so...
Hey, Dalek. Hey, Miss Martin Muses. And hello,
It is difficult. Yeah, hello. It is difficult to move on from that, but we do have a movie to discuss. But if anybody has any thoughts about her, then they're always welcome to share it at any point.
I'm not sure I want to go on after hearing that.
What, va-va-va-boom?
Yeah. No, Maggie Smith passed. And no, it's sad.
Well, and I suppose as long as we are sort of remembering people, I miss my old Dumbledore. This new Dumbledore, he doesn't do it for me.
Michael Gambon, yeah.
Yeah. There was a soft-voiced confidence and mentorship that came with Richard Harris, and bless Richard Harris, one of the all-time greatest Irish actors. I think he was Irish.
Yeah, it depends. It depends what kind of Dumbledore you're looking for. If you want the
pardon me,
if you want the more lighthearted, more kinder, more softer spoken, knowledgeable and wise Dumbledore, you want Richard Harris. But if you want the kind of Dumbledore who's powerful, who you want on your side, who Voldemort really did fear, you want Michael Gambon.
Well, okay, so here's my thought, and this is just initial. Again, this is the last of the movies that I have ever seen. I have not seen any of them after Prisoner of Azkaban. But my consideration of Dumbledore is Richard Harris's Dumbledore is Yoda from Empire Strikes Back, and Michael Gambon is Yoda from Attack of the Clones. And it's like, but I didn't want to see him being all kick-ass. I liked him when it was like, what's he going to do? He's obviously the most powerful person here, but then when you see the most powerful person there, kind of silly. So I prefer Richard Harris, and I know it's blasphemy. Dalek, I know. I am not a true fan. This is all new to me. But I prefer the Richard Harris interpretation.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that, Scotty. And on that note, Jill, if I sounded like a bit of a Potter snob last week, I apologize.
Don't.
You're okay, Dalek. We're all here to enjoy these movies together and have a good time, and I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And you're all right.
And I do it all
And
the time. I talk Star Trek with people, and then I'm like, I'm a bigger Star Trek fan than you. And people are like, Scott, calm down.
Yeah,
So
Scotty,
it's
you can
cool.
relate.
Yeah. Well, Scotty, I actually confirm what you say, that Richard Harris was Dumbledore and that
Yes.
there was always behind him something that you knew, if it was unleashed or if it had been unleashed, that he is definitely someone that would fear, that Dumbledore, rather Voldemort, would fear, or even Grindelwald, with the whole big duel thing that we'll never get to see because those movies were very ill written. But
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
recall.
yeah, that third one really dropped the ball, especially with getting rid of the actual Grindelwald.
Yeah. I mean, perfectly cast, but poorly written, so we'll never get to see it. But I recall when Michael Gambon took on the role that he didn't want to copy Richard Harris. And I think that that was a good idea because it wouldn't have worked. I think that Richard Harris was so perfectly personified. So he decided to make it his own in that interpretation that he went with. But I do agree with you that Richard Harris bows to no one, but sadly he passed away, so there was nothing we could do about it.
Oh, of course. And
That's true.
And that's
Yeah.
that's life as we are sort of
Yeah,
remembering
I
it.
think, yeah.
But,
I think
but the
Harris.
thing is, oh, sorry, Dalek, please.
I think Harris actually passed away literally a week after he finished filming Chamber of Secrets, or a week before before its premiere, or something like that. So almost immediately after they finished Chamber of Secrets, he passed away.
Well, and I do appreciate the fact that there is no winking at the audience, no mention. It's just like, this is Dumbledore.
Right.
And it's not meta, and they don't make a big deal out of it. But I do appreciate the fact, and this is Dumbledore now, and I'm fine with it. And again, as I've said, I haven't seen the rest of them.
Yeah.
There are 5 more movies. Michael Gambon is more than likely to grow on me.
I think that it was fine that he didn't want to copy Richard Harris, but I would have appreciated it if you read at least the first book. He refused to read any of them. And so, yeah.
I didn't know that.
It helped me.
But that's also, like, that's an actor's interpretation. And sometimes directors say, don't look at the previous incarnations. We want you to bring this to life yourself. And I do appreciate that process. And again, because I haven't seen any more Michael Gambon doing this, it's like, well, I can't wait until he comes into his own. And also, Dumbledore is sort of a minimal presence in the film. And so it doesn't really, like, it doesn't take me out of it, but every time I see, like, it does take me out of it, because every time I see him, I'm like, oh, I wish Richard Harris were here. Oh, did you hear about what Jared Harris said?
This book, it's so big. I have something about him in here. But go ahead.
Okay. No, Jared Harris, because they're doing the reboot. They're doing a TV show of, I think, on Amazon, of the Harry Potters, and Jared Harris was like, "Why?"
Not Amazon, not Amazon, HBO. I think it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, Warner Brothers. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
But that was something that I was curious about, as to whether or not Jared Harris would take on Dumbledore, and he's like, no, it was good already. I would like to welcome, and Jill will, when she lifts her mighty tome, because she does have a Harry Potter book that weighs something that a forklift should usually move. I want to welcome PvP. What's going on, yo?
Hello, PvP.
Hi guys. Sorry for being a bit late. I wasn't feeling that well when I got up earlier today, and I think I might have got a mild stomach flu or something going on here. So I'm not sure if I'll stay for the entire stream, but I just thought I wanted to pop in for a little while, because I did watch this with Gorilla last night, and it was a very good watch. I really enjoyed this one. Probably the best of the three so far, I'm thinking, overall. I do agree on Dumbledore, though. I kind of like Richard Harris's version first, but maybe that's because he's the first version I saw, if that makes any sense. And I want to thank Dalek for apologizing if he did come across like a bit of a snob last week. I appreciate it when somebody can be big enough to apologize when they feel the need to. I can respect that, Dalek. So thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah,
I do want to mention. Okay, so I opened this book just to find this paragraph. It said Gambon made his performance his own by refusing to read any of the books, and he says actors can get a bit miserable when they read the book and realize, oh, my scene from the book has been cut. That's not the point. You read what you've got in the script and do it. It's just me with my mom and dad's Irish accent, wearing lighter clothes and being what it says I'm supposed to be. So just following stage direction, I guess. Oh,
So-
my God.
so-
Look, it's huge.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can respect that because sometimes a lot of actors have told me personally that that's their job, is just to do what's on the script and do as they're directed. So perhaps maybe some of it had to do with the directors, because they could have guided him in that, because the book is, if you will, the book of the book and the movie is the movie. So I think an actor of his experience perhaps would look at it in those.
Yes, they're always going to be different because the movies have to cut so many things and they have to frame it in a way that's more visually appealing, and you can't always do things the way they are in the books because the way things come out in your imagination isn't the same way that they should come out in the movie.
Yeah, Gorilla was very helpful. He's been very helpful guiding me through these films, because he did point out quite often last night when there was a change from the books. The film made a change, probably for time and just other
Absolutely.
budget, possibly budget constraints or whatnot, right? So yeah, but boy, it's complicated. I'm telling you guys, it's not easy trying to figure Harry Potter out. Because I'm still a total newbie. Oh gosh, I got a phone call coming in. Just 1 second here.
Oh, speaking of being a newbie to Harry Potter, I realized I didn't actually explain Harry's basic story of when he lost his parents last time, which is kind of an important thing. So I'm just going to amend it here, just to say. Of course, we know he lost his parents on night of Halloween when he was a baby. He was just a year old. And his dad, he left his wand in the other room, so he couldn't fight Voldemort, and so he was instantly killed. But his mother was able to put herself between Voldemort and Harry because Harry was the target, and so there was that love protection, which was explained in the previous two movies. It was the last live stream was so wild. I'm not sure any of it came across, but.
And where was Sirius during
important.
all of this?
Sirius was that's what this movie is about, is where Sirius was during all of this.
Sirius is the title of the book of this movie and the book. He's the prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But and I would also like to say, if I can just punch in an early review, nothing in this movie happens until the hour and 40-minute mark.
Okay. And what you mean is you don't understand the entire plot until the hour and 40-minute mark. And
for an hour and 40 minutes, I'm going to school and I'm waiting for something to happen. And then at the hour and 40-minute, things kick into gear. So if this was an hour and 40 minutes shorter, I would be such a happier person.
But that's how it always is. These are wizard mysteries, Scotty.
Although I do like Professor Lupin. Before
we get into the movie, I just wanted to finish Harry's origin. It won't take long. It's just so when.
Sorry, I'm going to be prickly today.
That's okay. No, when Harry's mother died, giving Harry that love protection, then Voldemort turned on Harry, tried to kill him, but the spell rebounded, and that's why he's got the lightning-shaped scar. Harry didn't die from the killing curse. It rebounded and went back onto Voldemort who became non-corporeal, and that's
Yeah.
what I should have said in the first live stream. But
Yeah.
there we go. Now we can talk about this movie. You can talk about. I love Lupin
Yeah,
too.
the
No,
spell-
I think the mystery is set up great. But
Yeah, if it wasn't for Harry's mother, Harry
about
would have just simply been killed. But because Harry's mother died to protect him, that left the love protection on Harry. So Voldemort's curse rebounded and struck Voldemort instead. And you're right, it created that's what gave Harry his scar, and it's what reduced Voldemort to almost nothing. But because he couldn't properly die, his body was destroyed. Right. But he's just left.
Somehow Voldemort has returned.
He hasn't returned.
He's still around.
But he hasn't returned. He hasn't returned yet.
Sorry, no. No, he's returned twice. We got Tom Riddle and we got the.
He's around. He's around, but he's not fully powerful right now.
Right, he's not M from James Bond yet.
No. He's not regained his body and his full powers yet. But
I do want to, before we get into the movie. Yes, he will. He will. You just keep watching. Yeah, the next movie. But let's.
Well, yeah, I'm committed.
Before we get started with the movie, I just wanted to say this movie was released in 2004, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes. That was perfect.
I want to get it right.
You did.
I did. Cuarón?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, okay. And
if he were here right now, he would say thank you for pronouncing that correctly.
Sorry, Jill.
That's okay.
I've actually got the book up on my. I've got my iPad here, and I've got the Prisoner of Azkaban book up on through the Kindle app on my iPad.
Oh, okay, that's great. So I wanted to make sure to mention he's of course a Mexican writer and director, Alfonso Cuarón. I feel like I can't say. And he's Academy. He'd been nominated for an Academy Award for the screenplay of Y Tu Mamá También.
Oh my stars! Your pronunciation is on point today.
It's a coming of age road movie. Of course, I can pronounce it, but I don't know it.
Well, no, the Y Tu Mamá También. The literal pronunciation of it is "and the horse your mom rode in on."
Oh, I didn't see the word horse there. I thought it was "and your mama too."
Oh, is it? Maybe I was lied to. I don't speak Spanish.
You could be right. That literal pronunciation, that literal translation that I gave could be a colloquial translation of what she said. Mm-hmm. And so it's about the end of being a teenager, and Azkaban is at the beginning of being a teenager. So that's the interesting thing that he was thrown into. And here's his quote. Approached originally, I was not familiar with Harry Potter. I hadn't seen the films or read the books. I was coming off a very small, low-budget film in Spanish, and for me, the idea of doing a big visual effects film was not on my radar, so I dismissed the whole thing. Then I had a telephone conversation with my good friend, director Guillermo del Toro, and told him they had sent me these books, but I didn't know. And he said, "Are you crazy? Have you read them?" I told him I hadn't, and he said, "Don't be stupid. Read them immediately." After I read the first book, I fell in love with the whole universe. Not only that, but out of the three, Azkaban was my favorite. And he called his friend and said, "You're right. This is fantastic. And it has amazing potential." And that's surprising to me because the visual effects in this movie and how much he plays with them and has so much fun with them, very playful kind of directing, that I thought that he'd been well versed in doing this kind of thing, like in lots of other movies. But no, this is something new for him, and I think he did great.
Well, and the reason I switched my avatar to Hellboy is because Guillermo del Toro, I think, was offered to direct, but he was doing his own thing. And I would adore a Guillermo del Toro Harry Potter movie. The monsters would be amazing.
And we're going to get started with the book in just a second. I just want to say hello to everybody who's here.
Hello,
no,
chat.
not Traveling Pants. This one was with Sandra Bullock's, was sent with Target film. Great.
Oh.
And hello to Penny and Greek Letters.
Hey, Greek Letters.
And Ashley says, I love how this movie starts. It's my favorite opening scene in the franchise. Well, yeah. It's really great because
I disagree. Harry's a dick.
Harry is a dick for what? Trying to do his homework under the
bench? For blowing up his aunt or step aunt. Oh, or
well, okay. We'll get there in just a second.
Well, yeah, we will. The guy's an asshole.
Well, he did that by he did that by accident, but
yeah, it was an accident. It was he lost control.
Why can't he undo? Why can't he undo?
Because what's the deflating spell? He doesn't know all the spells. He's not Hermione.
I guess he's in school.
If a young wizard becomes particularly if their emotions run high, like he becomes particularly angry or sad or something like that, their magic basically they let out their magic in bursts, and they can without a wand, and pretty much anything can happen because it just. I mean, we've seen Harry do
exactly.
this before.
Although this is the thing that doesn't. It's really lovely for the movie, but it's kind of weird because Harry's intentionally doing magic here, trying to read his book instead of using a flashlight or something.
He's trying to do his Hogwarts homework, but his uncle keeps coming. Vernon keeps coming in and disturbing him.
So use a fucking flashlight.
Yeah, I think so because he could get expelled for deliberately using magic outside of school, but I guess that's not a problem in this.
What does someone has to explain to me? What does Hagrid do?
Well, he takes
not
care
Hagrid,
of the magical...
Hedwig.
Hedwig's
the owl.
Hedwig is Harry's owl.
What does Hedwig do?
She carries letters and packages.
She carries mail. That's what owls in the Wizarding World do. They carry post.
All right.
Yeah. Well, good point, though, Anti-Derivative Jill, that the movies were very inconsistent on doing magic outside of school because it becomes a big deal in the 5th movie, for example. And here he should be getting expelled here. And also Hermione should have gotten expelled for fixing his glasses out in the 2nd movie outside of the bookstore. So...
Yeah,
but if you do that on
in the book,
alley.
That's the thing. In the book, Hermione didn't do that. Mr. Weasley fixed his glasses, not Hermione.
Well, and that keeps happening because then in another book, Tonks does it, and then they have Hermione do it again. So she just gets to do it all the time in the movies.
All right, Ashty. The first things first. I didn't know that Hedwig was a girl, and second things second. It sounds like she is Harry Potter's slave. It's like, go fetch the post. Anyway.
Well, if that's the
she's free. She can go.
Well, if that's the case,
and everything.
She's in a cage.
If you think that, then you're saying that about every owl in the Wizarding World because they all do the same thing.
I would like to turn down the temperature a little bit. I apologize. I am being flippant with this film, and I know I'm surrounded by experts who love it. And so if I do get too snippy and flippant, please put me in my place.
If Hedwig didn't like Harry or thought that she was being oppressed or not allowed to be free, she could just leave. She didn't have to stay.
Hedwig loves Harry, and Harry loves her. That's clear.
Okay,
perfectly clear. Harry wouldn't dream of hurting Hedwig in any way.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm not saying that.
It's a mutual friendship, and she's a pet.
But she was purchased at a store, and now she does his bidding.
Okay, you could say that about dogs and cats.
That's
and
slavery.
Any animal. Okay. Yeah, you're just talking about pets in general.
Yes.
Just doing.
If you don't like domesticated animals.
No, I love Snoopy. I wish he were still here.
Like I keep trying to tell you that Hedwig just does what every owl does. She carries posts, but she's not. But she's not his
Who?
slave. She's
Who?
Hedwig.
No, I'm saying who because owls.
No, okay. I have to thank the uninspired reviewer for giving
you.
us supporting the channel with the $2. Oh wait, not $2, £2 super chat. Here's
Oh,
to the
nice.
best Harry Potter film of the franchise.
Is that a pound or a euro? Either way, it's
Oh, is that-
continentally appropriate
It's
for
a
a Harry Potter
euro.
movie.
Oh, it's a euro. See, I can't read.
It's-
I can't read.
That's two
Sorry.
euros.
That's like $7 Canadian.
Hello, DJ. Are you moderating this fight?
Hey, Keith.
Flippin' suits you though, Scotty. Keep up the good work. Well, yeah, but it's a strange fight to pick at the beginning of the movie.
I'm not
Hello.
picking fights. I'm assessing this
euro,
film as
yes.
being a new viewer. And so I don't, again, yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. Tell me to lighten
Right.
up when I start getting mired in the details. Because
Right,
suspension of
so-
disbelief is what wizards are all about.
I agree with Ashty. He did an amazing job directing this movie. Love the extra magical feel of this film. And let's just put a star on that one. And new wizards will learn. Will be a reversal. Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. There is a spell to undo. Is there an undo spell? I forgot about that. Just undo what I just did. I feel like there is.
Well, and part of the reason
I don't remember what
why I
it's
bring
called.
up my questions about Hedwig is because eventually we get into, like a major plot point of this is the killing of a griffin. And I know they call it a hypocrite, but it's a griffin.
It's a hippogriff.
No,
It's
no,
a griffin.
It's a hippogriff.
Those are
It's
different.
a griffin.
They're
A
different.
griffin is a different thing. A griffin has the back legs of a lion. A hippogriff has the back legs of a horse.
I stand corrected.
Thank you, Dalek. So maybe we can get past the titles.
Yeah, it was a complex creature for sure. Quite the creature.
Okay, so this is great. This is wonderful for me. I love seeing Marge. Yes, she is like Ashley says, she is the jerk in this scene, but she's played by Pam Ferris, who's the same actress who plays Agatha Trunchbull from Matilda, which is one of my favorite childhood movies. And I could probably do a live stream in my sleep for that one, but that'll be for another day. We've got to deal with it.
Well, that would be an interesting live stream if you can actually do it in your sleep, Jill. That would be entertaining.
I really could.
This is a great scene, though, coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really like this because I talked about this last week, that the Dursleys, underneath all of their hatred and stuff, is a great fear. And this scene really shows how they're really kind of creeped out by Harry. Like, they don't know what he's capable of doing. And as his temper rises, you see they're getting afraid. And Marjorie just doesn't get it because she doesn't know that he's magical. And when he, starts breaking glasses and things, she kind of screams like. So I think that this scene shows the dynamics between Harry and them, in as awful as they are, because they are verbally abusive in the way that Aunt Marge is doing that, but also how they genuinely are afraid of him.
Yeah,
They are,
Yeah.
and that's the only
Yeah.
reason. That's the only reason Vernon even promises to sign the permission slip, is because they know they're afraid of Harry revealing who he is and where he really goes to school and what he really does and who his
Well,
parents
but
really are.
this is also part of this. Like, I think that Harry is a little intense in this movie. And when this happens, this entire scene,
well,
I'm
I
like,
don't-
Harry Potter is keeping his guardians hostage. Like, they are terrified that he's going to do magic. And he will do magic, even if he doesn't know it.
As we
Because he'll
soon
inflate
find-
your sister.
as
And
we
you have
soon
no
find
choice.
out. as we soon
Yeah,
find
well,
out. Yes.
But I just think that Harry,
well, if
you
you
know, I
under-
think that
well,
he
if
should
you
have a little bit more
understand-
control, or he needs a magical guardian to reel in his aggressive
Look,
tendencies.
Marge is insulting Harry's parents almost while he's in
That
the
doesn't
room.
mean
I think
to
I
inflate
think
her to
he's
Super Mario
entitled
Brothers
to
size.
a little anger.
No, this is beyond anger. This is mutilating your step family member.
Yeah, but
He's
you see, he
still-
doesn't
he's-
know that he's doing it. You see, what's happening is he's losing his temper, and
Yes.
it's not actually something that he does. Now, I'm not
But-
saying what he
No.
does is right. Obviously, it's not. But he is just furious, and that's what happens.
Sure.
And that's, I think, why it's very accurate that they show the
But-
Dursley's fear of him, because he cannot control magic, and that's why he also couldn't undo it.
But if you
Basic-
compare this to the
basically-
introductory scene of the original movie, where he is friendly to the snake, talks to the snake, then removes the glass, and his stepbrother falls in and then gets locked in while the snake escapes, that is an instance of Harry Potter doing his magic without him really knowing he was doing his magic, but it was all to an altruistic end. This is just vindictive. You're a dick. I want to make
No,
my
there's-
aunt
if
inflate
I-
and fly away.
We've just said that he was
I
out
think
of
he has-
control.
You're saying Harry's being a
He's
dick
out
in
of
this.
control.
Well, they're all being dicks to him his whole life. So I think he's
Well-
entitled to
Well,
a
as
little
Gandhi said, an
revenge.
eye for an eye, and the whole world goes blind.
Hello.
But
Hi.
what we're
He
saying
doesn't-
is he's not doing this on purpose. He did not do this to his aunt. He got angry, and that happened. That's
Okay.
what makes
Yeah.
this different. If he had deliberately done the spell and been in control, then it would have been. But in this instant,
But-
he is out of control. He didn't even know what he was doing.
But if
Yeah,
if
but-
a person who is in possession of magic sees something magical happening and then they don't attempt to reverse it, are they encouraging that foul behavior?
No, but you see,
No?
he can't reverse it because he didn't know. Understand that this is part of his magic being
No,
out
It's
of
his
control.
He's had 2
subconscious.
years
It's
at
his
wizarding school.
subconscious. His
Oh, come on.
subconscious mind is taking control.
Welcome to me talking about wizards. I apologize. I'm going to be a little quieter.
He doesn't. No, you don't need to be quieter. It's just that he
Well-
he didn't have control over it, and he's also growing up. He's
Oh, is this his puberty
Winter.
moment?
maybe I have no idea what causes him to lose control, except for that his extreme emotions, and I can't tell
And-
you exactly why yet. But the Dursleys don't have a choice but to have Harry at his.
That's why I
at their
feel like
house.
Harry is he's
Exactly.
keeping them prisoner, the most
No, he's
powerful
not.
person in their
Not
block.
him. Somebody else. Something else is forcing them to that I can't.
Oh,
tell
is
you
that
yet.
is that going to come up later?
Yeah, it's gonna
It
come up later.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Then see, I'm not in full possession of the facts, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a very good reason why Harry has to stay with the Dursleys, no matter how bad they treat him. But it won't come up
Well-
in this movie. It'll come up later, a lot later.
Well, and
Okay.
Marge says precisely what Petunia would probably have chosen if she could have, which is if they had landed on my doorstep, I would have sent them straight to an orphanage, and that's exactly what they would have done if they could have, but they couldn't.
This is great because I feel like Harry Potter's dad, or at least through the perception of
Mhm.
his step aunt, it's like, what did Harry Potter's dad do? And it was like, nothing. He didn't work. He was unemployed. He was a drunk. And it's like, and then Harry says, he wasn't a drunk. And I was like, thanks, Harry.
Yes.
Well, and based on the
Well-
time travel, what if I'm Harry Potter's dad? Can I be Harry Potter's dad?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That was
want to,
silly. I
you can.
apologize.
And well, I have something from the book about the the blowing up of the ant. Whether you think Harry's in control or not, and he was not
Oh
in
my
control.
Oh, he's not.
I
Okay.
think he's not. So Nick Dudman, who worked on this movie, said, "I think Aunt Marge's transformation was fab. There's nothing digital in that except for some cable removal. Everything you see there was done on the set in camera. Scenes where Marge blows up began with the conversation
Actually,
with the effects
I think
department.
they actually did. I personally think they did the scene better than they did in the book, really, because I actually like that whole thing with Harry just shouting shut up at Marge. I mean all he says in the book, he just shouts at her, "But they didn't die in a car crash." So he didn't say,
Yeah. In the book, she's pestering more. She talks a lot more. She talks a lot more shit in the book.
Yeah, she says a lot more in the book than she does in the film. But
still, this is a terrifying fate. It is great special effects, though. I think that if it was practical, it's amazing.
That she gets deflated and her memory is modified, and she has no idea it ever happened.
Well,
yeah, that's an assault.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Actually, I love that scene. I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was great.
Accident.
Oh,
I guess
no,
you're charging.
Come on, it was funny.
But
you're charging Harry with attempted manslaughter.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm a little maybe salty about this movie is that the opening scene is, yes, there's a dickhead who is making fun of your dead father. And I understand that is an affront. However, I do not think that her being inflated, floating, deflated, and memory wiped is something that is just like, and everyone was fine with it. It's like, no, that woman was severely violated.
Well,
I know, right?
Would it help? Oh, what did she did a lot of things to Harry during his childhood. Maybe she didn't blow him up.
I've never seen this woman before.
Did she sick her dog on him or something? I don't know. She did some crappy stuff to him.
I have never seen Mr. Dearsley's
she did a lot of
sister before, ever. Mm-hmm. And this is my introduction. And Harry is assaulting her because she made words happen.
He didn't intentionally do it. I don't know how many times you
I know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Harry's a dick. And that's why I wish he were my Anakin Skywalker.
He could be. That's what Voldemort wants. But I disagree. And that's that. You're not making sense.
I am making perfect sense. You just
but
don't
Harry
like my arguments.
No, you're not. But you don't like my arguments either, so we can't move past that.
No, that's true.
Anyway.
So anyway, Harry runs away with his trunk with all his gold things, and he
the thing is that
he accidentally calls the night bus.
Yeah, by accident.
He doesn't call the night bus. The night bus just shows up.
No, he puts his wand out. He sticks his wand out on the side of the road, and that's how you call the night bus.
Yeah, the night bus is called. A wizard summons the night bus, which is just holding out your wand arm, or just holding out your wand, and then the bus will stop right by you. It's actually very simple.
It's simple.
Oh, Ashley also loves Matilda. Yes, I have to talk about that now that I'm into magic stuff. She's a telekinetic kid. And yeah, you are feisty today, but Keithy says if everybody agreed, it would be a very boring chat. So he's
interesting thing here is that in the book, or I'm probably here as well, Harry thinks, because of the matter that what happened back at number 4, that he already thinks he's expelled. Expelled from Hogwarts. If this hadn't happened, if the night bus hadn't shown up, he had no idea what to do or where to go. He was completely lost.
Well, and also, if you do consider it, you're not supposed to be using magic outside of Hogwarts or whatever your wizarding world is. And he's been using his wand as a flashlight when there was a perfectly good flashlight with batteries in the Muggle world. Like he is breaking the rules. This is part of the reason why I'm upset at Harry Potter, is because Harry Potter is such a better Darth Vader story than the prequel trilogy. And all I want is at the end of the Harry Potter books is for Harry Potter to put on the Darth Vader.
You'll like this, Scotty. That scene you keep saying use a torch, or use a flashlight. as you call
Hermione
it.
gets
Well,
killed, and then he turns to
guess
the dark
what?
side and
Guess what? Opening
torch.
page
Yes,
of the book.
I was going to modify, but I didn't.
Opening page of the book. Harry is doing the same thing, doing his homework under the blanket on his bed, and he's using a torch, not his wand.
But then the batteries run out, and that's when he uses his wand.
No,
the
he never
movie
uses
was- They already
wand
said the
in the
movie
book.
was a mess up. They made a mistake.
Yeah, I already said this.
Yeah, we've already
that
talked
he
about
doesn't
that.
use.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
yeah, we did. That he doesn't use his wand as a flashlight in the books. I did mention that.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, could I say something about the night
Sure.
bus? I love it
Yeah, that's where
so
we're going.
much. I want this thing to be real. Can you imagine if you would be able to get onto a bus like that? And it's like a triple decker, and it's got all sorts of chandeliers, and also goes super fast. Because I've traveled in England and in Ireland, and I like traveling by train and stuff and by bus, but if we could just like jump on and be in Dublin like that, or even sleep overnight, and I just think that the aesthetics of this is so much fun.
I know what you mean.
My main thing is that I want a shrunken head sidekick.
Yeah,
Now
well,
that-
getting through traffic like that would be incredible. I like that too. And I actually talked to him.
now
I went
that's
to
a
the
completely-
Wizarding World in Universal, and he
Now
does
that's
talk
a
to you.
that's a completely movie thing. The whole the shrunken head.
Yeah.
That was never in the book. I mean, I think there is mention of shrunken heads somewhere, but they don't talk. They're just shrunken heads, and you certainly don't see one on the night bus. That was
Yeah, it's
purely in
just
the
a
movie.
design. It's just a fun design choice because, of course, the movie wants to be more visual, and I
Well,
think it's
no,
good.
but also like movies do, and when it comes to adaptations, you do have to have a certain level of how do we get this exposition in. And I thought that the shrunken head exposition sidekick was a creative choice. If that didn't exist in the book, it's like, okay, we have to let the audience know what the hell is up. And I thought it was great. I thought it was
I
good.
recall that Rowling actually liked it too. And these are the kind of additions to things that aren't necessarily life-changing to the story, because it was kind of cute.
Well, and when it comes to, again, to adaptations, there are interior monologues that you need. You need to explain things to the audience. You got to figure out what's up. And a lot of it is done visually in this instance, and it's great. But at times, these are supposed to be movies for kids to a certain extent, and you do have to spell it out. And I think that this movie does spell it out quite well.
And Ashley, how they did the night bus in this film, they brought that right out of the pages of the book. And yes, I agree with that.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah. The night bus, at least visually, it looks perfect. It's an old British London bus. It's given an extra, but with an extra floor. It just looks, it fits in so well. And it does look great.
And there's a little bit about it in the book that I clipped out. It says it was constructed obviously from a London double-decker bus with the third deck welded on and painted purple. Curon and the second unit director, Peter MacDonald, took it to the streets of London for filming, using some of the cinema's oldest techniques to convey its speed. The filmmakers created the effect of the bus traveling rapidly by under-cranking the camera, meaning they shot the bus traveling at normal or slightly accelerated speeds, while the cars around it traveled at a snail's pace. And then they advanced the film and the camera more slowly than it would eventually advance on screen. And so that's how they got the bus to appear flying through traffic.
Right.
So that's fun.
Yeah, good times. And also, like, the exposition where, we were learning some more about Sirius Black. Like, who is this mysterious Sirius Black? And I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the film, this is actually the first time that Sirius Black is actually mentioned, but I think there's like a bit in a slightly earlier in the book where there's actually they kind of mention
A
the
news
guy.
broadcast.
Yeah.
It was from they tend in the films tend to cut the Muggle perceptions of so they just see Sirius Black's a
Yeah.
prisoner. He's on TV, and then Vernon
Have we
or
lost
Britannia
someone?
say, of course he's a prisoner. Look at the state of him. He's got this messy hair, and so does Harry. There's a thing about that.
And of course, we have.
Oh no, yeah, Scotty R37 has left for 20 minutes. He'll be back as soon as he can.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's yeah, it's a that
And of
thing.
course,
He does that sometimes.
and of
Yeah.
course, with the night bus, we also have Stan Shunpike and the driver Ernie.
Mhm. Yeah, he's just a few years older than Harry.
Yeah, he's very young. He was literally, I think he was literally like only just graduated from Hogwarts himself. Like he was that young.
I like that Ernie's just eating a sandwich, but he doesn't eat the whole thing. He just takes a bite and goes, because that's what I did today. I had a couple of bites out of the sandwich.
Oh yeah. On your way to work doing that. Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
boy.
Stopping for an old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a cute.
I wonder if they meant to have a double meaning when the guy's going, it's going to be a bumpy ride, because the actual movie is going to be a bumpy ride. And what Harry
that's
had
a
waited
good
for.
point. Yeah, and
Okay,
yeah,
and
like you said, it's an introduction to Sirius Black and the perception that he's a supporter of Lord Voldemort, because the idea is that he betrayed the Potter's location to Voldemort.
Yep.
And they're basically
this bit.
There's some
this
good
bit
special features on this bit. On
It's a
the DVDs.
good, it's a fun little scene, but this is really weird.
Yeah. However, wouldn't we all love to do this? I think Anti-Derivative Jill said this earlier. When you're in traffic and you can just squeeze through, especially when you're behind a bus, or even worse than a bus is two buses.
And some people do that on motorcycles.
Oh, I know. I hate it.
Yeah, that's scary. It makes me nervous.
Yeah. Oh, it's afraid I'm going to run over them. I want to stay in this place. I tell you what. Now, I get to visit some of it in the Universal Studios, but man, what a nice old-fashioned hotel.
Mhm.
And
Yes, I would too.
Tavern. Yeah, and
Yeah, I want to go back to the Universal Studios probably next year.
Yeah, a brief history of time. They're reading Muggle books, and
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Why is he reading a book by? Why would a wizard read a book by a Muggle?
Maybe like Mr. Weasley, he's fascinated by Muggle things because he even has a Muggle book. It's not like
it could be. Could be.
True. Well, wizards do learn astronomy. We don't get into astronomy too much in the movies, but they do have to have a telescope, and they do learn about. Actually, there's actually some wizard travel, space travel, that we really don't talk about at all. That even the books don't really get into it, but it exists. And
what?
So there isn't there, or maybe I'm just full of it. I don't know. I just feel like I read that somewhere. But this wizard was played by former Stones Roses frontman Ian Brown. So I don't know. I've never listened to Stone Roses, but that's a band of some sort.
You don't mean Guns N' Roses, do you?
No, it says Stone Roses.
Okay.
Fudge says, what you did to your aunt, it's no big deal. It's totally fine.
Again, and bit of a difference from another difference from the book here. But yeah, yes, Harry does meet Fudge at the Leaky Cauldron, but he kind of just stumbles into Fudge immediately after he steps off the night bus.
Well, I think that they figured out where he was going before he got there. And because he's already arranged the part with getting the aunt taken care of. So they knew.
And I guess maybe Hedwig gave it away because wherever Hedwig goes, then then you know how to track Harry. Yeah, his bird.
Oh, good point.
Or Hedwig knew where Harry was going because
Mm.
she like they say she's smart.
Well, and where else could Harry have gone in the wizarding world but in this
Yeah.
area? But, yeah. But I do like this scene a lot because everything that we've kind of been talking about with him blowing up his aunt and all of these things, and here's even that line: people don't go to Azkaban for blowing up their aunt. It's that they're covering for Harry, and that's another part of the mystery of this: is why are they covering for Harry? Why are they just blowing off what he did? And because they know that Harry's in danger, and Harry, I like the way that Harry gradually starts to figure out, my gosh, everyone's acting like I'm under Secret Service protection or something.
This scene's good. The Monster Book of Monsters.
Yay. Total prop. You can buy them, of course. They're pretty awesome. You can even buy one that's hollow, that's like a book that you can store little things in. I almost bought that. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this scene was definitely a pleaser to the young ones. I remember babysitting around this time, and all the little kids thought, they thought this chomping book was just hysterically funny. And then,
yeah, it is. Well, that's why Hagrid got it. He thought it would be funny.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't realize. Oh, I love this. The fight between Scabbers and the cat. She's the ugliest cat ever.
And that's also part of the mystery too. Is
what are you talking about? Crookshanks is cute.
No,
ugly.
He's pretty ugly because he's half Kniezel. I don't know if you say Kniezel or if you say Sneasel.
I think it's Sneasel, which I don't know where that. I have no idea where that comes from because that's never mentioned in the books ever. That he's not even a normal cat.
Yeah, that was like a Pottermore thing, wasn't it? Or
I guess.
Or was that in the book The Fantastic Beast when it was published? I don't recall. Everybody Google. But of course, a rat around a cat.
Yeah, somebody Google that for me because.
But apparently because of his.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he is half Kniezel. He has basically a certain sense that normal cats don't have, and the reason he's out for Scabbers immediately is because he knows he's not a normal rat. He knows he's Peter Pettigrew immediately.
Yes, and that's part of the mystery. At first, for most of the book, you just think, oh, it's a cat chasing a rat. It's a normal, predator prey thing, but really, it's that the cat is extra intelligent and it can tell who's untrustworthy. And that's why Pettigrew keeps trying to escape. So that's also how they lay out the mystery. Yeah. Where you think it's just a rat that's constantly getting lost.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And this also is a great scene because it shows the friendship of them. It's like, oh, look, they're so happy to see each other and that they're best friends, but they're also a family. And then we see the Weasleys and you once more feel at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, at that angle, that looks like my cat. Oh gosh. My kid's part Maine Coon, so dear.
Oh yeah, I remember there's a special feature on the DVD about dressing up the cat to look like Crookshanks, and they're adding all this patchy fur.
I was about to mention that. I was just thinking of that. Yeah, you're right. There is a special feature on the DVD of this film that tells which I have that shows what they little bit of a makeup job they did for the cat that played Crookshanks. They took little tufts of fur and put them in little clips and attached it attached it Two is for to make him look slightly more matted and shaggy, and they put this little jelly stuff around his eyes to make. I think it was like to make his face look more squashed or something like that. But just to make him a little less of a pretty cat, you know. So.
Oh, I'm sure the cat was thrilled by them doing that.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, and
I hate you.
I wanna go back to the chat just to see what's going on. DJ Play Nice is singing a song by Robin Hodgcock. I don't know this song, but I need to check it out. And sticking the wand out for the bus reminded me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit when he sticks his thumb out for the cartoon taxi cab. Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
And Padawannabe says, I'm sure it was mentioned, but rest in peace, Professor McGonagall. Yes, rest in peace, Maggie Smith. We did mention it, but if anybody has anything to say about that, I will read it. She says, just got to Salem, Massachusetts, and you can stay in places like this. And it has the same witch sign out front. Oh, wow, that's cool. The music for the traffic mayhem is awesome. And rest in peace, Professor McGonagall. Died at 89 today. Maggie Smith. Professor, yeah. Basic plumbing for wizards and sorcerers to make it in the real world. Right. Stone Roses was a British rock band in the 80s and 90s. Oh, thank you, Padawan. That's very helpful.
Oh, my bad.
Well, you can't know every band ever. Why haven't they made a Roomba that looks like this book? Oh, that's a great idea.
I think it's safe to say, Jill, my taste in music is very specific.
Huh.
Yeah. Scabbers. Yes, Scabbers. Scabbers and Rat.
Not Scabbers.
Well, as we find out in this movie, he's not quite Scabbers. Did he kill the real Scabbers? I don't even know.
What?
Yeah, well, in the next books, Better Call Saul, Sorcerer's Edition. I love it.
What was that about them?
Can wizards choose their familiars, or is it chosen at random? Yeah, they can choose their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
Well, you can you can take to a young witch or wizard starting at Hogwarts is allowed to take an owl, a cat, or a toad. So Ron's a bit of an outstander having a rat.
Mm-hmm. So the Weasleys they won a prize, so they were able to go to Egypt with their kid who's doing he's
Bill.
cracking safes. Yeah, Bill. He works for Gringotts.
Yeah, their eldest son Bill. He works for Gringotts, so he does safe cracking.
Yeah, and of course, Percy's really excited about being head boy. I don't know if it was in the scene, but no, it's just that. No, that's not. But we do have Mr. Weasley.
That's Mr. Weasley. That's Arthur.
Yeah, Mr. Weasley is telling Harry that he needs to be careful. He doesn't want to keep it from him. That Sirius Black is a danger to him, and so this is when it's spelled out to him.
Yeah. It's terrifying, actually, because throughout most of this movie, he genuinely thinks a psycho killer is coming after him. And they think so, too, because they have no inkling that Sirius Black actually is a good guy, that he was falsely accused.
Yes, exactly.
That is a really good counter from Harry. Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and of course Arthur doesn't tell him the whole story. Because he's kind of family.
That's the thing with Harry. He doesn't go looking for trouble. Trouble always finds him.
Yeah,
that's true. And Ron loses Scabbards. That's important for later because he keeps trying to get lost. Like, maybe I shouldn't go to Hogwarts this year.
Actually, he shouldn't go to Hogwarts in a year. Or the rat's saying that, of course. But yeah, I'm just
Yes.
thinking Hogwarts for a school that's for kids is the most unsafe place I can think of.
Mhm.
Don't lose him.
Yes. Yes, and yeah, no, I did like that reveal of Sirius Black. You do think he's a killer. He escaped from Azkaban because he's an animagus, and he's and so
Now this.
the Dementors couldn't detect him.
Oh, here we go. Now this. If there's any scene in the movie they absolutely got right, it's this.
Mhm.
This bit right here.
Yeah. This was genuinely creepy.
Yeah.
It just gets cold.
I mean, even the icing and the unfrost effect. I mean, that was a great touch with just like you see that it's like, oh, there's a Dementor around.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yes. Yes, yeah. It's cold
even
enough. It
genuinely-
freezes the bottle of water. That's cool effect.
Oh yeah. In a way, this is like total cruel and unusual punishment in the wizarding world. The fact that you have these creatures that can literally like suck out your soul and apparently leave you like a vegetable. That's really horrifying.
It is.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Well, that's part of how right now, or for a long time, there's a lot of corruption in the wizarding government and a lot of
Yeah.
really dark things happening.
Another interesting thing is in the book. I know I keep saying in the book, but forgive me for that.
It's okay.
But
No problem.
But in the book, up to this point, up to we actually see a Dementor for the first time, everyone just keeps referring to them as the Azkaban guards. No one uses the word Dementor after we actually see one for the first time.
Mhm. Yes, that's right. And they do suck your soul from your body. They take away any of your your good feelings, your good memories until you're left with all the worst ones. And these
Yeah.
creatures were actually inspired by J.K. Rowling's depression. So this is a manifestation of her
Yeah. That's pretty
her
much what
sadness.
that's pretty much what Dementors are. They're depression personified or embodied.
Yeah. And the whole idea of I felt like I would never be cheerful again.
Yeah.
And a square of chocolate makes you feel better because it gives you a boost of serotonin.
Mm. Yeah. Eating.
Eat. You'll feel better.
I already knew he was my favorite professor when he says that.
Thank you, Professor.
Though every woman on the planet related to that. Eat this piece of chocolate, you'll feel better. It's like, yeah, well, that's
Well, I'm sure that's also part of well, why J.K. Rowling put that in there. Why the cure for encountering a Dementor is chocolate, because the Dementor is depression.
Like I'd never be cheerful again.
there we go. Like never.
And of course, it's even worse for Harry because when a Dementor is near him, he goes into this. It affects him worse because he starts hearing the voices of his mother and his father as Voldemort is about to kill them.
That's right. That's why it affects him the most. That's why he passes out. But he's so embarrassed by the fact that he's the one who's most affected by them.
Yeah, he is very, very much.
He's the one with the most trauma.
Yeah, but fortunately, they did decide to go into the cabin with Lupin because he fends off the Dementor from basically killing Harry. And well, worse than death, just leaving him without a soul. That would have been not good for the rest of the series. Oh, and I like that. I like that little Professor Flitwick doing the choir, the double Toil and Trouble, but that song is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Williams really went all out on this one. It was his last one. I like the medieval feel he also adds to the music. It's really clever, and the little frog singing along too.
Oh yeah, that was so cute. Well, it's a frog choir, so they're in the works. So yeah, why not use frogs as instruments? It's a good idea.
Very British little choir too, proper singing. And
oh, before we go on, I did clip something from the book about the Dementors, as Dumbledore is explaining our prowling around Hogwarts for the whole year, so stay out of their way. But the people who made this movie, they couldn't. I love how this movie doesn't use CGI unless they absolutely have to, and so with Dementors they had to, but they really tried to do practical first. So they did. They tested a bunch of puppetry to float in the breeze, but it just didn't have the right effect. And as someone who's tried to use a trash bag to make a Dementor for Halloween, yeah, it is really difficult.
It would have just looked too silly, too high school play like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And the director said, I was very stubborn about trying to see a Dementor before making a Dementor. We were talking about creatures that are described in the books, having all these floating rags and stuff. And I needed to see how it works. And so they did have a puppeteer do that. And even though they didn't end up using it, the CGI team modeled the digital creatures on what the puppeteer came up with. So it was a marriage of the practical and the CGI, which I think is the best.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, right?
Hmm.
And so let's... Oh, right. And I had some information about Lupin, too. So I guess maybe let's do that. Thulis won multiple awards and made his name as a star of Mike Leigh's harrowing... Okay, this is a movie called Naked. And then he also was with Brad Pitt in 7 Years in Tibet and Leonardo DiCaprio in Total Eclipse. And not to mention Marlon Brando in a remake of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And so that's, yeah. So then this is his quote. He says, "The kids are very fond of Lupin, which wouldn't be difficult because there are quite a few not so nice teachers in the school. I like that Lupin's introduction is a little ambiguous. You may suspect he's sinister, as you do with Sirius Black. But you find out very soon that he's on the level. Apart from not knowing about him being a werewolf, that's something he can't control, of course. And when he transforms back into human form, he's back to the same old lovable Lupin."
Yeah. And of course it's the whole thing that he's used to be old school chums with Sirius Black as well.
Yeah, and that's the most important part is the whole, all the Marauders who are being slowly introduced. We don't find out until later, of course, that they are. And
we've met the first Marauder. We've met Lupin here.
Yeah.
And then we find out later that Sirius. Then we find near the end, Sirius was he's Mooney, of course. Sirius is Padfoot, Pettigrew was Wormtail, and James was Prongs.
Yes, Prongs, and those nicknames relate to what they are when they have their animagus, except of course Lupin is a werewolf.
Yeah.
So but the other ones are animagus. They learned extremely advanced transfiguration in order to do that.
Yeah.
In order to not only become an animagus, but of course to make the Marauders map, which we'll see a little later.
Yeah.
If I ever get around to it.
Becoming an animagus is probably the longest, most complicated, and most hardest thing any wizard can try and do. It is so complicated that you'll probably fail on day on day one and have to start all over again.
Well, yeah, isn't there something you have to chew for a long time, and if you swallow
Yep.
it, you have to start all over?
You have to put a mandrake leaf in your mouth and keep it there for a whole month.
Oh, and they scream.
Oh
Mandrake
yeah,
leaves,
well,
right?
well, yeah. I'm sure. Hopefully, you got the leaf detached from the mandrake at this point.
Well, no, but wasn't that a question that you wanted answered? Is if you were an animagus, what animal would you choose to become?
Yes, I was waiting for you to come back
Yeah.
to because I did remember that, and that was
Yeah.
a question, and mine was the one because there are Texas birds here, and so one day there was a bird who made a nest in my peach tree, and it was a mourning dove. And so I think I would like to be a mourning dove if I needed to be an animagus. Of course, it gives you you get to be you get to fly, and
See, it's interesting because my choice
what would you
is
be?
I would be a duck. Not only can they fly, but they can also swim.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that would
And
work.
Pottermore said that my Patronus was a swan, but I
think
I didn't like it, so I didn't.
Yeah,
pick it.
speaking of that, I don't know if this is exactly set in stone, but I think there's like said I heard somewhere that it's supposed to be said that there's a correlation between what your animagus form will be and what animal your Patronus will take form. So if you like say so if your Patronus was like was say a squirrel or something like that, it's very likely your animagus form would also be a squirrel.
Okay, so my animagus is a swan, then, according to Pottermore.
Then I don't know, like I say, I don't know if this is actually lore, but it could be possible that your animagus would also be a swan.
So,
Miss
did
Martin
you think
Muses,
about
what
that,
kind of
Miss White?
animal?
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. What'd you say?
The same question.
Oh, okay. Yes. Of course, the cat. It's just natural. I've got one right here. I mean, they're stealthy. They're small enough that they can, jump around and maybe hide in places. Also, if you want to be left alone to sleep and stuff, or if you're feeling isolated, well, not isolated, rather, you don't want to be around people, it's accepted that cats will just be like, oh, they're just being a cat. They just want to be left alone. So they'll come over when they want to. So I would love that. And also, of course, there's supersonic eyesight at nighttime. That would be awesome to have.
Well, and isn't
really
McGonagall
Yes.
yes,
and the interesting thing
cat
about McGonagall's
animagus?
interesting thing about her animagus as a cat is that her glasses are a physical feature on the cat also, and so I'm
Yeah,
wondering,
that's true.
Yeah, so
That's true.
So part of you does end up somehow on your animagus, but I'm not sure how.
I mean, it's kind of I guess you could think of it as kind of a cliche trick kind of thing, a witch that can turn into a cat, but it's because she's an animagus.
But it's such a special thing. It's such a thing.
Yeah,
that most wizards can't do.
It's extremely rare because most witches don't have the intelligence or the talent to pull it off.
And even if they do, it's a huge risk. It's a very huge risk. If you get it wrong,
it's dangerous too. Yeah, very dangerous.
Or you could yeah, you could probably. Can you kill yourself doing that? I need to go check, but it's not.
It's why I was a little skeptical, and you had to have a suspension of disbelief that Potter and Sirius and all them as students would have been able to pull it off.
I could believe that all of them could do it except for Wormtail. He was such a copycat, and I don't know that he had the ability to do it.
James and Sirius I can believe they'd do it, but Peter, yeah, sure.
Yep.
He had to really be walked through. Like they had to basically do it all for him somehow.
Yeah. He would have been one of those that would have messed up and he would have ended up dead. But there's a lot of suspension of disbelief that we have to have in this. And I know we're not quite there yet, but they don't establish in the film that they were the ones that created the Marauders map. We never actually know what prongs and all of
That's
them.
true.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah,
seem
Yeah,
to
you're
so
right.
book.
that's
a
the
dec-
only thing
that's-
about the movie is that
that's a
we don't
decent-
know that.
yeah.
But we know that.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's a detail they left out of the movie. You're right. They didn't actually say that they were the Marauders, that those were their nicknames, or that they made the map. In the book, they do. I think
Oh yeah.
in the book.
So Jin says, is anyone watching for the first time? Yes, Scotty
Yes.
R37 is watching for the first time. Let's bring him
Yes.
up here.
It is annoying,
first
everyone
timer
who
right
knows
there.
this in and out.
No, you're not annoying. I'd like to hear your different takes.
Well, and as soon as the movie starts, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to wait an hour and 40 minutes for the plot to kick into gear.
Well, and so something is carrying these carriages that's invisible. We're going to see that again in the fifth movie a little more deeply.
Like, it's so interesting because I know, like, rewatching this one, I am aware that people love this book and they love this movie. Me watching this is when I tapped out because I found it not so much.
Well, it's a mystery just like the other movies.
It's not a mystery though.
It is a mystery because you think
He's
Sirius
a bad
Black is
guy, and then you
murderer.
find out he's not a bad guy at an hour and 40, and then the plot begins, the story.
Well, yeah, not just that, but also Wormtail. You find out that this guy who was a rat this whole time wasn't just a rat. He was
That was cool.
person. And
Lupin.
I don't know,
Though if
why-
you speak
Well,
French,
yeah.
it wasn't very much a secret.
But that's also one of the things that I did enjoy, again, because this is me going back to it, and I was like, oh no, Lupin's a good guy. He's one of the first professors of defense against the dark arts. He is the first one who is actually on the level and cool, which I'm glad that they didn't go back into the trope and say everybody who is the defender against dark arts is a bad guy. And this isn't the case here.
Yeah, Lupin is easily the best teacher Harry ever had.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And yeah, he's the best. He's the best defense against the dark arts teacher.
Well, and I first
by miles. By miles.
But of course, the position is cursed, so he was not destined to return. And Ashley says that her Pottermore, I guess Patronus was a hound, but if she could pick it, it would be an elephant.
Yeah, no, that was actually a fun scene.
No, but Dalek was saying that if your Patronus is a certain animal, then your Animagus might be the same.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was definitely true for James Potter.
Well, and David Thewlis as I think it's David Thewlis, him as Lupin.
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic. I first encountered him on Fargo. I knew that he was around as an actor and whatnot, but if you haven't seen Fargo, and it's the one where Ewan McGregor plays twins, fantastic season of television, and David Thewlis is so absolutely intimidating as one of the best scary villains. And I enjoyed seeing him play Lupin because he was more of a guardian and a protector.
That is a big theme in the books. There's a series of people who become kind of father figures to Harry in some form or another, and including Sirius Black.
Yes.
The Hagrid, Dumbledore, and more.
Maybe that's why I was frustrated with it, because I was waiting so long for Commissioner Gordon to show up. And then when he did, I was happy.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can we give a shout out to Snape in that scene and the acting of Alan Rickman when he's clapping and just trying to pretend like, oh gosh, I've got to clap, and he's just sitting there with this "kill me now" expression on his face.
Well, but that's also that's something that I've been watching, and I appreciate it because the only person, it is the job that Snape wants. He wants to be guarding against dark magic. He wants to be that professor. And every year it's like, no, not you, Severus.
And it's not just that. It's not just that he's not getting the job he wants, but also because he's meeting people who he considers bullies when he was a kid. So with the same look, the look of hatred that he gives to Harry because he sees James in Harry. And so he has that same feeling towards Lupin.
Yeah. Well, they mercilessly bullied him.
Yeah,
and
so that is part of it.
And I do appreciate it. Like, it is always a pleasure to see Alan Rickman on screen. And spoilers, finding out that he's not this evil sort of monkey in the wrench of Hogwarts. He's actually a valued professor. And I know that that's coming eventually. We'll find out later. But I do appreciate that he is a red herring. But I'm just like, oh, Snape.
And that's part of the thing for you. You're experiencing these books already knowing all of the major reveals of the mysteries. Yeah. And so you're not enjoying the mystery because you already know the answers. So then
what you mean Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father? What?
Yeah.
What?
And Leia is his sister.
But I guess if you're not enjoying the journey, I guess that's important. If you can tell us, exactly what about the lead up to it that you didn't like.
And again, the only reason, and I don't mean to be a stick in the mud with this, I'm enjoying the journey, and I know I'm only on third year. So, like, if I'm coming off as being dismissive or curt, it's not because I'm not enjoying it. It's just compared this one compared to the last two I fell in love with, and this one I was like, this not. I can't wait till the next one. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm not angry at it. I'm not angry.
Okay. Well, speaking of the last movie, Hagrid was exonerated from what got him expelled. So now he can become a professor. And so he's going to be the care of magical creatures teacher. And I do have a clip from the end of the scene.
And that's why Harry had to get that Monster Book of Monsters book because that's the book that Hagrid set for them that they would need for his care of magical creatures classes.
Except he didn't. He should have given them instructions.
Yeah,
but I guess it's not. But that's not in his character. I guess he just thinks everybody would know.
Yeah, he doesn't always know how dangerous what he's doing could be to students.
Should not have said that.
This is a guy who gets dragon.
We all love Hagrid, but if there's anything which is a bit of a flaw in his character, his absolute love for all creatures, especially ones that are especially considered scary or dangerous, can land him or others in trouble because he's kind of either a little thoughtless or a little reckless in that.
That's his movie, basically.
Yeah.
But
well, and also,
I've always loved this quote.
Sorry, which quote?
But happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light.
Yes, I love that line.
Yeah,
I've used that a lot.
I wish Richard Harris had said it.
It's a good line. Yeah, it's a good line, and the whole waving his hand to put out and relight the candle that went with it so well as well.
And specifically, it's in there as a direct instruction on how to defeat Dementors, but it can be used externally from that and as a philosophy of life. And our RTNZ is here. Hi, Jill and team. Let's look at this.
Look at it.
Look at it. This is the only Potter book and film I like / respect because J.K. wrote a predestination paradox properly, which few writers do. It's also a sensible length, unlike the padded out sequels. Yes, this is one of the few time travel stories that get it right in terms of showing you all the ways in which the time travel it affects itself, because you see things happening that happen later but actually are happening at the same exact time because that's the effect of time travel, is that it's going to have the backwards effect of being part of the timeline.
Yeah, but also this is part of the reason why it frustrates me so much is because I'm watching the movie and the plot doesn't kick in until an hour and 40 minutes in, and then we have to watch the movie again with Harry and Hermione.
Oh,
and
you don't like?
Oh my
you don't
God.
like? You don't like the backtracking?
Well,
but that's part of the time travel, though. You have to.
know.
You have to
I feel like Ebenezer.
So perfectly. That's okay.
Bah humbugging. Also, it's nice to see some wizards of color.
Yeah, this.
Oh, here we go.
I know. I'll stop. It's just a joke, sir.
Well,
I know. I know. You were.
I'm a dick.
I mean,
there's one wizard kid in particular who is in.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that here because that was always in the books and movies from the start anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, but it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important.
Oh, yeah, where's John Cleese? Where's half-headed Harry or whatever his name is?
Nearly Headless Nick.
That's him.
Yeah.
Nicholas. Yes. I wish. Does he come back or no?
No. I guess he costs too much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, sadly, I don't see Nicholas again in the movies, which is sad because he comes back quite a few times in the books and he plays a bit of an important role too.
Well, maybe that's part of my sort of tepid response to this movie is that it's kind of lacking the whimsy of the first two.
Well, and the movies do get more. They get darker as you move along. So the first two movies set up the universe.
Well, yeah.
All of the stuff from the first movie is supposed to be still here in the background, but you're focusing on, running away from this murderer, who you think is a murderer.
Well, and when we decided that we were going to watch these movies, when you decided that we were going to watch these movies,
you decided.
And then, it was a collaboration. And we watched it. And then halfway through this wizard movie, there was a sports scene. And I was like, oh, God, I have to learn a sport for this wizard movie. I was so upset. And this movie does actually sort of skip the sports scene.
Yeah. Just shows the relevant part to the plot.
Yeah. Well, and basically all you do is the whole point of it is to destroy the Nimbus 2000 so that you can get the DeLorean broom.
Yeah, Quidditch as a whole got pretty nerfed in the movies.
How is it in the books?
There's a lot more of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it plays a big role in the 6th book that they left out of the movie, which was to the detriment of a certain relationship.
And we'll definitely get there when we get there. Well, I do like the style of this movie. I thought it was a weird choice to put the entrance to Gryffindor common room right in the middle of the moving staircases. I thought that the mysterious corridor from the last two movies was a much better location, but why
is the entrance to the Gryffindor common room there now in the middle of the grand staircase? Why is it there? It's supposed to be up on the 7th floor of the castle.
Like, I have 4 things when it comes to locations in this movie. First thing is the Whomping Willow. Why is it on a craggy hill when the last movie we saw it on a field and it busted up Ron's car. And I was like, okay, fine. There can be more than one Whomping Willow. But then I was like, wait a second. No, they say the Whomping Willow. So I assume there's only one. It's changed locations. Also,
Yeah, there's no
Hagrid's hut, his little cottage, which I want. I would live there happily. It's in a completely different location. And third thing is at the beginning of the first movie, when Dumbledore says, "Don't go into the woods," they have gone into the woods every single time.
Yes.
And it's like, come on. I thought we weren't supposed to go there. And
Forbidden
there's more
Forest
that I
isn't
know
right.
about.
all the time.
It's just a suggestion.
It's not by choice, Scotty.
No, it
Never
is by choice. Hagrid says, "Let's go." Twice. He says, "Go follow the spiders." And then he's like, "Let's go find out this hypocrite." It makes perfect
you're right.
sense
It's
that it's called a
every
hypocrite
movie.
now.
Every movie they go into the Forbidden Forest.
They always go into the Forbidden Forest. It's not so forbidden.
Yeah. Well, it's still forbidden because they're breaking the rules by doing so. And Hagrid, they've established, is so clueless that he doesn't realize that he's putting the kids in danger and stuff. But yeah, it is still technically against the rules.
Yeah.
We also got a new
forest. Let's have a
actress
teacher
for
take
the
children
portrait
into
here.
it.
We got a new actress here.
Oh yeah. Oh, is she? I didn't even notice her in the previous film.
What was her name? Isn't she the?
It's Adele.
She played the. Isn't this the actress who played? Wasn't she the Vicar of Dibley? This woman.
I
think she may have. I think she may have been.
Yeah. No. Let me look it
up.
up.
What was her name?
I'll check. I will look it up.
You guys can talk for me. I also have a book, but I don't know. Let's see if Scotty finds it. Scotty will probably find it first.
Well, you go first. You have pages.
Right, I have pages, but you have a keyboard.
I have the power of the internet at my fingertips. I'm going to look up the Vicar of Dibley.
Oh, there's.
And I'm going to look up the actress who played the Vicar of Dibley, Dawn French, I'm assuming. And now that I have typed her name, she is. You're right, Dalek. It is the Vicar of Dibley.
I thought she was. Yeah.
We found her at the same time. Okay, so mine says, yeah, Dawn French of Absolutely Famous and the Vicar of Dibley. Is
Absolutely Fabulous. Which is much bigger. I thought Absolutely Fabulous was bigger in terms of comedies.
Yeah, and
it's about all alcoholic wine moms. It's fantastic. And I do love how she's trying to shatter the glass, and then she just like offhandedly
it shows
smashes
you how much personality the characters, the two-dimensional portraits have.
Yes.
And there's definitely a lot of that all over the castle.
Okay, they obviously put this scene in for length and also a bit of comedy because we just have the boys here, messing around, eating these sweets that make them all sorts of ridiculous.
But it's also it's like the jelly beans.
It got this all. Everything's lighthearted and fun inside the castle, but then we got to outside the castle, and I've got the storm raging, and then the Dementors slowly advancing toward the castle,
and all the birds running into the Whomping Willow and killing themselves.
I get a little upset when they refer to Hogwarts as being a castle.
Yeah.
But it is a castle.
But I thought it was a campus. I thought it was a safe haven. When they call it a castle, and I don't recall them referring to it as a castle in the previous two. And when they're like, "Oh, I love that castle," and it's like, it's not a castle.
No, it is.
It's a campus. It's a school.
It is referred to as a castle in all the movies.
Maybe I missed it. And
No, please don't get me fooled. It is a castle. It's absolutely a castle.
In terms of architecture, for sure.
Yes. Yes, that's.
But I don't know. If you called it a fort, which I think a castle is, it's like,
no,
I get
there's
a
a difference. This is an
standoffish.
architectural difference between the two.
Yes.
Well, shout out to Emma Thompson being the divination teacher.
Amazing.
She is
I
perfectly
know.
cast.
I know.
Amazing. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, Padawannabe. Semantics. Agreed. I will regress.
I was going to get back to the chat, but if we're on Emma Thompson, let's do that.
Yeah.
She's a multi-award winning actress. I didn't know that. And her first Academy Award was the Best Actress for Howard's End, co-starring Helena Bonham Carter, who hasn't shown up yet. And
Hannibal Lecter. Sorry, what's his name?
And her second Academy Award was for writing screenplay for Sense and Sensibility. What did she do for Hannibal Lecter?
No, Anthony Hopkins. He was in Howard's End.
Oh.
I think Christopher Reeve was as well.
Oh, and in that movie, she also won BAFTA for Best Actress and was co-starring with Alan Rickman, other people in Harry Potter like Gemma Jones, Imelda Staunton, Robert Hardy, and so that's
Robert Hardy was married to Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, she's Kenneth Branagh,
who played the Cowardly Lion in the last movie.
The Cowardly Lion in the last movie?
You know, the guy who was like, "This is just like magic" when they're flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Lockhart. Yeah, Professor Lockhart.
They were married for a while.
Divorced during Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
he
funny.
cheated with Helen Bonham Carter.
Who wouldn't? I would.
I didn't know that. Oh my God! Wow, that is so.
I don't even know how old Helena Bonham Carter is right now, but I would totally slow dance with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's interesting. So the three of them ended up in these movies, but Emma Thompson never shared a scene with Helen Bonham Carter. Well, and shout out to Alan Rickman in Sense and Sensibility, because that is the only movie I saw him in where he played a really romantic character, in love and all that. And I thought he did a great job. He was amazing.
Yeah. I love Alan Rickman so very, very much.
You should. And about the role, she says, Emma Thompson says, "I thought Trelawney was terribly funny. I don't quite know why," muses the actress. "When I got the part, I immediately saw her as this wild-haired person who hasn't looked in the mirror for a long time, or just couldn't see anything at all. It occurred to me that if she's always looking beyond, then she can't see what's in front of her." I thought that if she doesn't look at herself, she can't see herself. Then she must look sort of undone. That is a really great interpretation. I just knew she had to have these huge eyes. Her hair looks like it has exploded at the top of her head, and clearly has not been brushed in a long time. Probably has had squirrels nesting in it at some point. Maybe that's a little too far.
Well, isn't she more screen accurate of the way that Hermione is described in the books, minus the glasses, of course? But isn't Hermione supposed to be more homely?
Yeah. Hermione is supposed to have her teeth, and they tried to do the big teeth in the last book and the last movies, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, Hermione is supposed. I think in the book, Hermione is supposed to be she's supposed to have really very brown, bushy hair, and she's supposed to have quite large teeth, but quite kind of buck teeth, but she's but obviously look, you see Emma Watson in the movies, and I mean you see, you think that's Hermione, but at the same time she's really not exactly.
Well, and I hate to say it, but isn't this is what I've heard, is that she's too pretty.
Well, and for some reason, the teeth work on Neville, but they don't work on Hermione for some reason.
Oh, Neville. I love Neville.
I do too.
Neville's a good guy.
Yeah.
He is.
I love the way, though, that she's obviously a fake divination person and that it's a running joke until it's
Yeah.
not. Until
Yeah.
Until
she
it's
finally,
not.
like,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah, it's a weird,
Everyone-
funny thing with. It's a weird,
Yeah,
funny thing
everyone
with
is
Trelawney.
everyone's so confused why Dumbledore hired her.
Well, but that's the thing that I'm finding about the professors at Hogwarts is that at first I was like, these people are completely incompetent. And then, except for Dumbledore and Snape, those are the ones that I think are and also McGonagall. But everyone else is more of a conduit of magic. And sometimes they don't get to choose when magic possesses them, which is interesting.
You must look beyond. What's a load of
Like I find that interesting.
I always think that is funny because
Yeah, it is a
Ron-
funny thing.
they look wherever she's pointing. It's like maybe if we look that way, we're looking beyond. It's just you're right. Emma Thompson is amazing.
Oh, Padawannabe? Wait until the end, and then I will talk about racism.
Okay, so what if a wizard has diabetes and comes across the Dementor? Oh, and Ashley says dark chocolate. Dark chocolate.
Hey, Nemesis is here. Nemesis Enforcer.
But I don't know. I don't know if it actually. I don't know if it necessarily has to be chocolate, but I think it as long as it's something sweet or something that makes you feel good, it should work. It should have the same. Should have the same.
No,
effect.
but I had an idea.
He just
about this.
loves chocolate, so he has his pockets just stuffed.
No,
with
but
them.
he doesn't eat the chocolate. You know why? He's a werewolf. Dogs are killed by chocolate. The reason that he gives Harry the chocolate all the time is because he can't eat it.
I didn't think about that. That's so hilarious, Scotty. The Padawannabe says for his animagus, he's a dragon.
Dragons aren't real.
In the wizarding
You have to
world,
choose
they
a
are
real
so-
animal.
No,
the
but
wizard-
in the wizarding
in the wizarding world, dragons
they
are real.
Yeah, this is all right.
In our world, he can be a Komodo dragon.
Okay, that makes sense. That's better. But that's small.
Yeah, that would work.
Lily
Or
Potter? Who's
or-
Lily Potter? I want to date her.
That's Harry's
That
mom.
was Harry's mom.
See, this is what I've been saying since the beginning. Maybe I could be Harry's dad.
And that was a spoiler, so I'm not gonna read it.
What, a spoiler that I'm
we
actually
can
Harry's
talk about
dad?
it.
I need different
No.
glasses. I need round glasses.
So Greek letter says, I'm really only trying to keep it from Scotty. So I know
Yes.
everybody in the chat knows it, or else I would say it.
Yes.
Greek letter says, I would like to see a Protonus with the form of a Dementor. Whoa, that'd be creepy.
Yeah, but that's also like giving, that's like asking a genie for 3 more wishes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can do
And
that.
it's not Hagrid's fault for being the biggest and strongest. He doesn't even exercise. Princess Bride reference. Oh,
I don't think that means what you think it means.
I mean, we find out something interesting about Hagrid later on that is pretty much the reason why he's the size he is. But I'm not going to spoil that here.
Oh,
thought he was a
Padawannabe
giant.
gives an interesting idea to headcanon for why the entrance was moved. They changed the entrance because Sirius is chasing him. So move it from the known location of where the common room is.
Sure.
Flippy Everyday says the theory says that Hogwarts is able to change appearance at will, thus changing locations of certain things.
Well, I suppose there is evidence for that, I guess, because there are
good
certain. I mean, Hogwarts can certainly change its interior. I mean, different doors can lead to different places on different days. and he's the staircase has changed, obviously. So I guess you can say that there is evidence for that.
Sure. And Nemesis of Eden says, "Hail, you beautiful beings. I hope you are doing well. Anti-derivative Jill panel in chat. Just watched this for the first time since theaters yesterday with Gorilla and PvP. It holds up."
Yeah, your opinion.
And Ashley says Alan Rickman and Emma were married in Love Actually.
Yeah.
They weren't.
He's a
No, like
cheater.
in their characters in the film.
Wait, Emma who?
I would Emma Thompson.
And Nemesis
lady
says, "I
currently
get
on
where
screen."
Scotty's coming from. You will find out why later, but presented with the facts thus far, I can see why Scotty thought that."
Great. It's always fun to have people on my side.
Dogs are killed by the sugar cardiac arrest. I've looked into this. I'm a huge dog person, and I have known, and I had to know for safety.
Yeah. No, but it's just one of those things. Like, I've had many dogs in my life, and if I drop like a Kit Kat and they're like, "Oh, food on the floor," I'm like, "No, please, sweet Jesus, do not eat that. You will die."
Yeah, well, and so let's go through the scene. Professor Trelawney's teaching them how to read tea leaves.
Yeah, this is stupid. This is only
Yeah.
set
You'll
up for the
suffer,
fucking...
and you'll be
No, this
happy
is-
about it. I use that all the time.
That's fun. That is fun. You'll be upset and you'll be happy about it. But no, this is only set up for the failed Quidditch game that isn't called on account of rain.
What do you mean this
So-
is only set up for a failed Quidditch game? This is a setup for the prophecy that this is Professor Trelawney's entrance. And
I don't like
this
it.
isn't her only prophecy that she makes. Like you said, she gets possessed by the sight. She's completely unaware of it when it happens. When she's actually that's why Dumbledore hired her. He wasn't going to hire her because he interviewed her and he was like, "Oh, this lady is full of shit." But then she actually did give a real prophecy. Which will come up later. We'll talk about it. And she gives her first one in this movie.
If anybody in the chat or anyone on the panel has played Fallout 4, this is Mama Murphy. This is just like, "Oh, child, I have visions if I can get the chems for it." And so she gets all whoop-de-doo, and then she foresees the future. But ultimately, it's useless. I don't. I love Miss Thompson, and I think that she's a fantastic actor. But in terms of this, I am still sitting in class learning useless shit, and I have no application for it until an hour and 40 minutes into this film.
That's exactly what Hermione thinks about this class.
Because Hermione is smarter than her. It should be called Hermione Granger and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, there is a meme for that where they rename all the books, but they make Hermione the main character.
She's the best. She's my favorite. Also, I do like the burgeoning love between Ron and Hermione.
Oh yeah, that is very subtle, but it's there.
You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
Yep, that's my line. I love it.
That is the definition of watching these movies with you guys.
You have the Grim.
The Grim.
I am the Grim. I am the one who knocks.
Yeah, the Grim.
Yeah, and apparently that means that it's an omen of death.
Yes, and for most of the movie, that's what Harry thinks he keeps seeing when he keeps seeing the huge black dog. When actually that black dog is Sirius Black in his animagus form.
Yes. Although that doesn't explain why it's in the clouds.
Yeah, I think that wasn't in the movie. That was a change for the movie. In the book, he sees the dog in the Quidditch stands.
Yeah.
That's
I think that in the movie, that scene is actually symbolic. him seeing it in the clouds, just because he's got it on his mind.
Yeah.
And this is where Ron is realizing, hey, Hermione just keeps popping up, and I don't see her actually entering the classroom. And so he's like, how do you have all these courses? These classes go on at the same time. How are you doing all of this? So that's another one. There's several mysteries in this movie that I think are great, and I like it.
Yeah, it's
And
cute.
this is one of
And the
them.
way she just keeps appearing, and he's like, she wasn't here a second ago. When did she come in? Did you see her come in?
But I do love
Yeah,
Hermione.
yeah.
She doesn't like divination because she can't learn it from a book. She can't. It's not practical, and it's not useful.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time to her.
Yeah, it just may for someone as logically minded as Hermione, it just makes zero sense to her, and anything that doesn't make sense to her, she wants nothing to do with.
Yep.
Broaden your minds. Use your inner eye to see the future.
Yeah. Well, and it also feeds into her insecurities because it's the one subject she actually is not good at.
Yeah,
true.
because
That's true. She can't
She doesn't
succeed
like-
at it, then it's also
Ye-
something that she wants to dismiss.
Yeah, that's a major flaw in Hermione's character. She anything she can't understand immediately from a book. She sees as beneath her.
Really, she never becomes very good at flying, does she?
No.
So
And
that's
she was
another
also
one.
frustrated. They showed her being frustrated about that too.
Which is ironic considering she's a witch, and you'd think, and she accepts that magic is real. So you'd think she'd have a bit more of an open mind, but no, as smart as Hermione is, she's very close-minded.
Well, I've always interpreted that it's not so much that she's closed-minded, but she's kind of like the person who thinks, oh, that was stupid anyways. Like when they find that they can't do it. It was a defense mechanism. It's like, oh, divination is stupid because she's not good at it, and that makes her feel insecure. That's my personal opinion.
I think that's right. No, I agree with that. And well, now we got to move on to Hagrid. He's teaching the classes. He's teaching his first class, his first Care of Magical Creature class. And Draco is making fun of it. He thinks it's a joke that Hagrid
he's
will be a teacher.
he's not making fun of Hagrid. He's making fun of Harry for what happened on the train with the Dementors.
Well, he's making fun of both. But yes, he's definitely also making fun of Harry for being for having for fainting on the bus on the train.
Malfoy is just being a dick for the sake of being a dick, and that's all there is to it. And he does that to everyone, not just Harry, but mostly Harry.
Yeah, and this is the first time we see Pansy Parkinson, that she was cast there on the far right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, she is. Good point.
Yeah, see, this is Hagrid being very irresponsible, and as we learn, not just irresponsible toward the kids, but irresponsible toward the hippogriff, because it gets the hippogriff in trouble.
This is true, and yeah, he does.
He shouldn't be around kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is an extremely dangerous magical creature. It actually could have killed Draco, but it just got lucky that all he did was hurt his arm.
Buckbeak. All he gets is a little scratch on his arm from Buckbeak's claw, and he milks it to death for months.
Yeah,
for months on end.
Literally to death, to Hippogriff, to Buckbeak's death.
Yeah.
And okay, so there's something in the books though about the creation of Buckbeak in the movie.
something that was his fault to begin with. Because if he just listened to Hagrid, it wouldn't have happened at all. He just storms up to Buckbeak. He insults him. You're not dangerous at all, you big ugly brute. You know.
Yes, and that's one of the things Hagrid said. Don't insult the hippogriff.
Don't insult a
Draco
hippogriff.
were paying attention, he would not have done that. And yeah, so this is obviously, yeah, they did do CGI for Buckbeak, but they did also do models. They did also use models. They created a leak within the creature effects department, and it was covered in real bird feathers, which were sewn into a net that they covered with mold and machinery. But yes, so they definitely did use. I like that they used both, though.
Yeah, they did a mix of CGI and animatronics and model work for Buckbeak, and they actually, I think in this scene they actually used a fake eagle's beak on a pole, on a long pole, so Daniel could actually reach out and touch it when Buckbeak was standing next to him.
Yeah, and it's a good effect. I enjoy it, but it is irresponsible. But Harry seems to know what he's doing, and actually, it could have worked out a little better. But
so, can you guys spoil this for me? Does Draco die?
Sure.
Do I get to see Draco die?
No, he doesn't.
No, you're gonna be surprised about Draco.
Oh, I am.
Don't give Scotty any more spoilers.
Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry.
that's good enough. That's good enough. I'm going to be surprised by Draco. That's
good
good enough.
You get to have Draco. Well, there's one. You got it already, so that's fine. Because he's been asking me who dies, and I'm like, just watch the damn movies.
Well, I have to do this week by week.
Yes.
Sorry. I hope I don't.
No, that's
I don't
okay.
get fine.
No, that's okay. You're okay. You're okay. Draco being alive, that's okay. He gets old with everybody else.
Like, he's such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he is.
And like Miss Muses says, you will be surprised. So
okay,
it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, everything she's setting up so many things that I think that when we were reading the books or even watching the movies, we didn't know until with the benefit of hindsight to see how perfectly everything she does unfolds, including the character developments.
Also, I am very, very frustrated with Harry and this mystical wonder of him jumping on the back of not a griffin and being like, "Oh, I'm flying!" And it's like, you flew for 2 movies, yo. You were the seeker. Like,
yeah, but it's a different kind of flying. He's not as in control. He's at the mercy of
it's a different kind of flying because like Jill said, because here he's riding on the back of a mythical beast. In the first 2 movies, he's just flying on a broom, which he's doing all by himself.
Oh, it's not magical when you can drive your own car. It's more fun when you're in the back of a taxi. I was just like, what are we doing? What is the, we know we have to get to Sirius Black, but when are we going to see Sirius Black? And at this point in the movie, I have to wait another hour.
But that's every movie, Scotty. They have to, they're still attending Hogwarts, and even when somebody's trying to kill you, you still have to go to school. You still have to go to class.
Tell me when the movie starts.
You have to learn. It is part of
it's not. I'm going to school. Class sucks.
Well,
no,
also the Dementors are.
But Buckbeak is an important character and is
totally.
instrumental to Sirius escaping and flying off, and they become best friends, and they change his name. What do they change his name to?
Witherwings.
Witherwings, yeah. Well, and not only that, what we're getting from Harry's scene with this, not just that he's bonding with Buckbeak, but remember that there's very few moments in these movies, especially from here on out, where Harry is genuinely happy and can just let go, and like where he doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to try to be in control, if you will. Like, he lets go, and it's a joyous moment, because even when you look at this movie, that's the last where you're going to see him be happy.
Unfortunately, you're right. Yeah, and which is a real
interesting. Yeah,
which is also a real shame. Part of it makes it a bigger shame why since they nerfed Quidditch so much in the movies, because in the book we see all the Quidditch matches and the happiest moment for Harry in the whole book, possibly in the whole series, is when he, well, at least in this book, is when Gryffindor wins the Quidditch final.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an escape for him. An escape from, oh, Voldemort. How's Voldemort going to try to kill me this year? Well, at least I have Quidditch.
Yeah, and I like that to bring in the book. Remember, McGonagall and Oliver Wood just start sobbing with joy. They're just crying. It's the only time you really see McGonagall having the true joy, like crying tears of joy. And
Yeah,
of course, Oliver Wood.
Those are that's like the only time we see McGonagall just lose control, just lose her strict teacher professor facade, and just show what she's really feeling. Like, and she is passionate about Quidditch, really passionate, and it's great.
Oh, she is. She is. Definitely. And that's how she figured out Harry should be on the team. But we need to go back to class.
No, we don't. I
love this scene. This is a great
I want
scene.
to make a stand. I want to say that this movie has far too little Hufflepuff. In fact, I don't even think they say Hufflepuff. There is not enough Hufflepuff in this movie, and I feel slighted.
Yeah, they kind of just have him standing in the back. You can see some Ravenclaws back there. There's a
the
Hufflepuff
Quidditch
kid right there.
Well, the Quidditch match we see is against Hufflepuff.
Yeah, but then it turns into like this end of Superman. I see a thing in the clouds.
There'll be more kids.
I
from other
want more
Hufflepuff.
Okay, Jill, I have a question for you. Do I get a Hufflepuff?
Yes, the next one.
Edward.
All you have to do. Oh, that's the next movie.
And so it's Edward who is in Hufflepuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about the swear.
Yeah, the guy.
I'm
the
excited
guy.
for that.
The guy who plays. The guy who
I
plays
am
Cedric,
so looking
Diggory.
forward to the next movie.
So, but I like Alfonso's cinematography. I think it's a lot of fun, and I didn't realize
He's
that this
so
was the first time he did
fascinated
that.
with windows.
Yeah, he likes windows.
Like every
and mirrors.
time there's a zoom in, it's through a window and the imperfections of the glass.
Well, in
and I'm
this
like,
case,
yeah,
it was
I
a
get it. You
mirror.
like windows.
But in this case, it's a mirror, and so they go through the wardrobe mirror to the student's reflection, and I think that's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, of course, Lupin is teaching them how to repel boggarts, which are they're shapeshifters that turn into whatever frightens you the most, and you've got to figure out how to, use ridiculous and also think of how to mock them, how to make them look funny, and then it has to be funny enough for you to laugh, and the laughter is what defeats them. And that's
not to get political and talk of current events, but when we do get to see Snape dressed in grandmother's clothing, is this the beginning of the transphobia? Let's be fair and let's be honest. I think it's
cross-dressing, so it has nothing to do with that.
Is the not Snape does you know what? Never mind.
I like the thought behind there's something that you truly fear, you need to take away the power that it has over you, because your fears, most fears, are dependent on you and the power that you give it. And by using ridiculous, making something you fear into something silly, and again, something to be laughed at, you're really taking away its power. And I think that's a very good message.
Well, and I think that Padawannabe has a really good point. This is how to speak in front of people. Just picture everyone else naked. There is something about taking away their power, and Padawannabe has hit the nail on the head, in my opinion.
Yep. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for pointing out that, chat. I gotta, let's see. Do I have my star?
I don't know where your stars are, but I adore you, and I navigate based on your stars.
Thanks.
But
All right.
again,
So if you spell stupid with two O's,
it's kind of like what I mean. This whole scene is like, it's kind of like what Dumbledore says. Like when he talks about things like
Yes.
Voldemort doesn't understand, this is kind of what he's talking about. Like overcoming fear with laughter. Voldemort doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, and it is effectively what diminishes his power is mockery, destroys Voldemort. And I would like to point out that this is like the last movie. I was like, everyone's saying Voldemort very willy-nilly. And this movie, everyone is like, seriously, we shouldn't be saying this name.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and this is, Ashley, she makes a really good point here. I think Hermione just wants to compensate for being the Muggle-born. Like, she has to prove herself. And when she comes up against something she isn't great at, it does get below her skin. And so and so that's the reason why she's taking all of these classes also.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. And in the
What
book,
was with
she
the, like,
stresses
where
out
was
about
she?
it, that she actually, it's like way too much that she can chew. So she's always like really irritable and really stressed. And she goes to show that sometimes her swattiness is not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and what was the whole thing with everybody's noticing? And it's like, where did she come from? How did she show up?
Yeah, they put even more emphasis on that in the books because on their first day, we see that almost immediately because on their first day back at Hogwarts, they go down to they're in the Great Hall having breakfast and Hermione gets her timetable for her classes and basically she's got like 3 different classes all at the same time and so it's like how can she be in like 2 or 3 places at once and then of course it comes and so it should be obvious in hindsight it's obvious
Right,
she's
and it's obvious that she's using time travel in hindsight. Yes, and Nemesis of Eden says the guy reading a brief history of time by Stephen Hawking is an Easter egg foreshadowing the time travel. That's a good point. That's interesting because she has a lot writing in this game. McGonagall is the Ryan Reynolds of Gryffindor's Quidditch team, says Padawan. Booger414 says, I think Scotty objects to the lack of Hufflepuff simply because he likes saying Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Well, he is Hufflepuff also.
Hufflepuff.
Norman Bates was long before Snape. He was a trendsetter.
He
Spirit
was
the mind killer.
a love making, heartbreaking son of a gun.
And yes, so the kids go through their boggarts and they're defeating them until we get up to Harry's, which of course is a Dementor.
Which everyone assumed, and even Harry himself assumed that his boggart would turn into Voldemort, but then his thought turns to the Dementor. So like, and I think it said something like later. I don't know if it was in the book, but I think it was in the movie that Lupin says your greatest fear is fear itself. This is very wise, and so does that mean
it's in the movie too? It's in both.
Yeah.
But it's also like at this point, it's also a rehash of the mirror where you can be wherever you want. You can see whatever you want.
How so?
And then this, well, because you only bring to it what you take in. It is Luke Skywalker walking into the cave on Dagobah. And it's like, leave your weapons. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to need these. And then he faces his fears. And I get a little frustrated with this because I've seen this.
But facing your fears is different from facing your desires. So they're a little bit.
They're in the same category. I don't see much of a difference. It's only a flip of a coin.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the hint that the greatest fear Lupin has is the moon.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh
and that
yeah.
was great. In the books, they're
Although
like,
his
why is
name
he
is
afraid of a crystal
Lupin.
ball? I wasn't quite sure.
His name is Lupin, and I had completely forgotten that he
Yeah.
was a werewolf.
Mhm.
And I
It's
was
true.
like,
It
Lycan
is.
Lupin, this is so transparent. Try harder, JK.
And it happened to him when he was just a little kid that somebody came and bit
Yeah.
him. It was a whole
Yeah.
thing.
You
It's
know,
pretty
werewolf.
horrifying
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
think
Bit of a
about it.
what?
Yeah.
Becoming a werewolf?
Spoiler.
It
His,
No, being
is
bit
a
as a
big
child.
spoiler.
Yeah, that's also terrifying.
yeah. Spoiler. He was bit. He was given the werewolf curse, but lack of better word, by a really sadistic, horrible wizard. Another werewolf called, his name was Fenrir Greyback, and
That's
he's
terrible.
And he will show up in the movies a little later.
Really?
He will later. He will
Yeah,
later.
later.
Yeah.
Huh.
Pure evil, sick. He's a sick F dash dash dash.
He
Oh
is.
yeah.
But since Harry can't go to Hogsmeade, so
I'm glad that
Lupin,
Miss
so they
Martin
talk.
Muses has sacrificed all of her swearing privileges. I will take all of her swearing privileges.
Well,
Okay.
good enough. So,
No, it's an
There it is.
incantation.
So Harry knows that he was hearing his mother when he was attacked by the Dementor, when he heard somebody screaming, and Lupin talks about knowing her, and that Harry has his eyes, because that's a
Oh,
thing
this is a
they
great.
always
This
say.
is a great scene here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also that he has his dad's talent for trouble. So this is the movie trying to tell us about Harry's past a little bit, and just a hint about what James was like. He was different from Harry a little bit. Harry doesn't go around picking on people like James did.
But that's something that I really, really appreciate about the movie. Like, there are emotional beats that did hit with me, and it was the first time he does the get away from the Dementors. And he's
Yes.
like, I saw my father. And throughout the entire film, people are like, you look so much like your dad. And then when it is revealed, spoilers, that it's like, I didn't see my dad. It was me. I really liked that. He's not living up to a legacy. He's living up to himself. And so it is emotionally
Right.
impactful.
Yeah. And that's the thing with with Harry. He's what makes him is not how similar he is to his dad. It's how different he is from his dad, because I mean everyone compares him to James all the time, but Harry is a lot more humble than James was, because when James was in school, he was arrogant. He would swagger about the place. And of course we all know he was a massive bully to Snape, but I mean,
That's why Snape becomes a bully to the children.
Well, you can beat up children. They're so small.
Well, he tries to poison Neville's toad in the book in this one.
That's rude.
Well, because Neville messes up his potion, and he's like, "Well, feed it to your toad." But Hermione cheats, helps him cheat, and fortunately, I'm glad she did. Otherwise, we would have had a dead toad.
DJ Play Nice. James is the Potter senior.
That's right. James is Harry's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I've never met him. I haven't seen him yet.
Sirius Black has broken into the school, and so now we know he's around.
Also, this is the most clumsy exposition I have ever witnessed in a film ever. Is a bunch of people who were sleeping on the floor, and then two people are like, should you tell Harry? Do you want to let Harry know? And Harry's right there, and you see his eyes open, and it's like, no, we shouldn't tell Harry. And it's like, Harry knows You guys are the worst at keeping chambers of secrets.
Oh yeah. This was also where they did the prank on Daniel Radcliffe.
I don't mind it.
They did the farting thing.
Oh,
wait, what
like
was
was
that?
farting.
Tell that story.
You see this in some of the behind the scenes that I think it was Gambon's idea, but they put like a little farting machine thing sound in Daniel Radcliffe's blanket, so that when they walk by saying their lines, someone made it go off, and so it looks like he's farting, and you could actually see the footage. It's hilarious, and then they're all laughing, and I don't know. It was one of those immature moments, but it also shows you the goodwill that they all have.
And the fun that they had filming it, and that's important to do. That's important to have a good time.
Sorry about
making a movie. No,
Yeah.
but you were providing sound effects. Oh
No, I'm not apologizing to you. I'm apologizing to Miss Martin Muses.
Oh, for farting when I was speaking.
Yeah, sorry about that.
There's the
It
Whopping
was
Willow.
farts.
Speaking of sound effects, I forgot the music.
Oh, there we go. Magical music.
This is acceptable music. No one's
Yes, I
gonna
won't
in
get.
trouble for this.
I didn't get in trouble last time, so hopefully that's the case here.
Oh, and that's it. You know what? On behalf of the panel chat, everyone who's watching on the rewatch, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the stream on whatever platforms you enjoy. But yes, Greek letters, no fart humor. No fart humor. We're done.
Okay. Hermione gets angry that Ron doesn't pay attention to her. This movie, he notices her constantly, but she tells him he's not paying enough attention. Typical high school girl. Well, yeah, and like someone else said before, she's totally gaslighting him the whole time.
But that's what I love about this burgeoning relationship that we get to see, is that she is such a bitch to him for the first two, and now he's like, I want nothing to do with her. By the way, can we hang out with her? Like, I love this push and pull. I think it's a beautiful romantic engagement.
Everyone loves a fart joke. It's multi-generational humor.
No.
Oh, my finger, says DJ Cletus.
No.
Life is too short for no fart humor, says Ashley.
Yes.
So there's the wait, okay, so you're right. You're kind of right, Scotty. We do just keep going to class, but it's important. All of it's important to the plot. All of it's important to the lore. All of it's important to the story. We're back in Defense Against the Dark Arts, but this time Lupin isn't there. He's sick with being a werewolf, and
right.
And so
he's sick
Snape
with being a werewolf,
Yeah,
and
he's
actually
a
Snape
werewolf.
is protecting Lupin.
Well, he's been assigned as a substitute, and
Yeah.
he's telling everyone. But at the same time that he's protecting him, but he's also exposing him as a werewolf to whomever,
What?
to whichever.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, I was very upset with this projector. I know this is fucking stupid. I was very upset that a magician school couldn't just make images happen on a screen. Like, he pulls down a traditional screen, brings out this David Cronenberg weird, hideous alien H.R. Geiger projector. And I was like, why can't you just point at the screen and make images happen? I thought it was too intricate.
Yeah, I love this dialogue here because it's like werewolves. And then he's like, yes, and I want you to write an essay about how to detect them and what's the difference between an animagus and a werewolf.
Well,
Yeah.
do we really want to get into the nature of werewolves?
You see what I mean? You can see what Snape is doing here because he knows Lupin is a werewolf, and he's trying to not so subtly, not directly tell them, but he's trying to not so subtly hint at them that Lupin's a werewolf.
Yeah,
because
remember he hates them with a passion.
He hates Lupin,
But he's
and he's He's trying to expose him and get him kicked out of the school. So
No, he's not.
Yes,
yes,
he is.
No, he's not. The reason he's covering for Lupin is because he is on Lupin's side.
He's not covering for Lupin.
He is literally taking his job because Professor Lupin is under the weather.
And he's exposing him.
knows.
He's doing
He's
it on
not
purpose.
exposing. He shuts down anyone who says, "Where's Professor Lupin?" And he's like, "That's none of your concern, Potter." Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're very wrong.
So you think that Professor Snape doesn't like Professor Lupin?
Yes, he hates him.
He
It's been
hates
clear
him.
he despises all of them.
Well, he despises everyone. That's what Alan Rickman
No, but in a
does.
very special way because they bullied him horrifically.
So
James and all his
why is
friends.
he covering for him?
He's covering for him. He's exposing him. He's
He
telling
is
them all
filling
about
in his job. It is literally the definition of covering.
he's been taking his job. He tells them that we're going to be studying something on page 394, and they're all like, wait a second, we're not even studying this. He says, but you're going to, and then you're going to write an essay about how to find them, how to detect them, how to know the difference between them. He's wanting to get Lupin kicked out because he's a dick.
Yes.
So why doesn't he just say it outright? Why is he not
he would
honest?
get in trouble. It's just
He'll
he would
get in trouble?
He outright came out and said it, but this way he has plausible deniability. It would just be one of those, oops, I didn't say anything. I never told anyone that he was a werewolf.
Oh, there you are.
I thought you were a werewolf for a second and I had offended your
I
sensibilities.
thought
we conjured her out of there.
I thought we'd lost Jill.
All right,
lost
I
you there
think-
for a moment, Jill.
Here's what I would say is that I think, Jill, can you turn the music just down a touch? I would say that you guys are a little bit clouded by your Harry Potter, but I think that I know. What is it like when a newbie confronts you? But I think he's on his side. I think he likes Lupin. I think that, well, much like Snape is in the business of protecting Harry, and I think that Lupin is also.
Because Dumbledore is forcing him to. That's why.
Is there a spell?
If he had his way, Harry would have been out of Hogwarts on day one.
Why?
Because he hates him.
Why?
Because Snape is a dick.
But I thought he was a good guy.
See, I think you maybe need to watch to the end.
We'll get there. No, I know it's frustrating. We'll get there.
Yeah, but it's pretty clear from the very beginning that Snape is not putting on an act. And he says over and over again how much he despises James Potter and, when he's talking about Sirius and all of them, he hates them.
Fair enough.
And he's not lying.
But Miss Martin muses, this is also the first time that I've actually discovered and acknowledged the bullying against Severus. Like I have not encountered that until you guys explained it to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. We don't know how badly he was bullied, but they do say, how they teased him. They had him, he's got an unusually large nose and
That
all
was
of that.
rude.
But I guess it's not clear in the books.
I thought that was a dick move. You and your thick ankles. I thought that was really kind of, I thought that was a rude thing for Harry to say. And again, this is part of the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, simply because I think that Harry is a fucking dick in this movie. He's not the boy I fell in love with 2 movies.
Well,
Max Redstone is here, and he has American dollared.
my God, nobody
All
could
right.
hear me the whole time. I was talking and talking and talking. And I was like, wait, no.
Oh no!
Yeah, work your mute button, yo.
Okay, so anyway, I did want to get back to the scene where we're back to where Ron is.
You're kind of roboting it out of. You're not sounding
Oh
good.
no! Oh no! Really?
No, you're good now.
Okay. So Hermione's showing up out of nowhere again.
I mean, heck, there's even a chapter in the book literally called Snape's Grudge, or the Grudge of Severus
We'll
Snape.
get there. But let's table that because we've got 40 minutes to finish the movie, and now I've got to turn it up a little bit just to make sure I get through it. And so, but there's an important thing. Remember last time how we said Ron gets a shaft a bit dialogue-wise in these movies, and there's one point here where Snape says, "Are you to Hermione?" because he wasn't asking her to answer. He was deliberately ignoring her when she knew the answer about werewolves, but she answers it anyway without being called on. And so he tells her, "Are you incapable of restraining yourself? Or do you take pride in being an insufferable know-it-all?" And for some reason, Ron says he's got a point, which is
really stupid because in the book he stands up for Hermione.
He does. Ron would even though Ron agrees that Hermione is a know-it-all, he would never side with Professor Snape like this. He sticks up for his friend.
Yeah,
and the real Ron in the book, it says, Ron actually says, "You asked us a question and she knows the answer. Why ask if you don't want to be told?" And this earns him detention. And he has to end up cleaning bedpans in the without magic in the infirmary.
Right.
And so let's play the clips that go along with this scene, which I really, really do love. Alan Rickman's delivery is fantastic.
And I had the scene up on this thing a minute ago, and I've lost it now.
And can you still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Jill, we can hear you.
Okay. Gotta make sure.
Turn to page 394. Turn to page 394.
I actually used that line in class. Whenever I would have kids turn to a page, I would always say, "Turn to page 394," and half the kids would get it, and half the kids would be like, "There's not a 394."
That is really awesome hearing a teacher's perspective on using Harry Potter in the classroom in that way. That's great.
Yeah.
But I do want to thank Max Redstone for the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, Max Redstone. It's really great to see you. And oh yeah, it's a little happy face, a little money sign, a little money in his eyes. Yes. And this one, this is the best because comedy comes in 3.
Loss of limb will not excuse you. Page 394.
Only he can deliver it like that.
Well, I even like the way he goes when Malfoy gets silly and goes like, "Ooh," and he just goes, "Thank you, Mr. Malfoy." We've all done that too. It's just like, just shut up, kid.
Can't hear him.
Yeah. But of course, Slytherin doesn't get any points taken away.
Yeah.
He's very he's biased. Yeah. Snape doesn't like Harry, but he's fair to him. He's harsh as a tutor because he knows that practice and commitment overcomes gifted. Dalek, are you okay? Harry needs to practice to become the wizard, and he can't rely on his legacy, and that is part of it too. That is definitely part of it. He thinks he's doing Harry a favor by being hard on him. Yes, I think that is an element of it, but there's also the element that he has to be an agent, a double agent, and so he has to. He can't show affection. The Padawan Bee says the fact that Lupin is a werewolf means that nobody is safe when he changes. Lupin may be a good wizard, but he's still dangerous. Yes, that's why when people find out that he's a werewolf, he has to leave. And he only took up the role for Dumbledore. I tried to chat from my PC, but it wouldn't work. Because the whoever is in the Defense Against the Dark Arts position is, of course, chosen by Dumbledore for a very specific reason, for the story to move along because in this case it's so yeah, chats from my PC are getting vaporized. Oh really? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. But let's move on. Let's move on because it's Quidditch time. So it's time to have Quidditch in the middle of a thunderstorm. And so weather doesn't extreme weather does not stop a Quidditch game.
No. They're trying to kill these kids. I still want to see. Sorry, I still want to see the disclaimer clause when they sign up their kids for Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to accept that you're definitely putting your kids in danger, and several students in this scene fall. And I guess Dumbledore is stopping their momentum too with the spell. And yeah, why not? Oh, there's the Hufflepuff that Scotty was looking for, but we don't really. I guess we don't really talk to them or anything, but they are playing Quidditch. And he does encounter the Dementors. The Dementors are not supposed to be this close to the school.
No.
They try to. They basically knock him off his broom, and the broomstick is destroyed by the Whomping Willow.
Yeah. This is where it's also kind of revealed that Dumbledore is, in Hermione's words, furious that the Dementors were not only able to get that close, but I don't think he even wanted them there at Hogwarts at all.
Right. Yes, agreed. And they were supposed to stay off campus, like maybe just be in the circumference of the grounds. But since Sirius Black has invaded Hogwarts, so have they. They are intent on taking the soul that is allowed to them, because they are allowed to drain the souls of certain criminals. And so they've been unleashed on Sirius, and they are going to get their meal, no matter who's in their way. And so Lupin tells Harry why he's affected by the Dementors the most. Dementors. Are you okay, Dalek? Do we need to stop for something?
I have to go, Jill.
Okay. And yeah, and I've got it. I've got 40 minutes. I guess I got 40 minutes from now to actually finish, so I should be okay, actually, if I keep going. But I'm so sorry you got to leave, Dalek. Is there anything you want to share about this movie?
Yeah,
It could be the end of the movie too.
I'm sure you can guess why I need to go.
Dinner, supper, tea time.
It's dinner time or tea time here. I my tea's ready. I have to go and eat. So, I think all I can, in summary, is I think. It's hard to say which of the movies is my favorite, but I think this one is up there amongst my favorite of the movies. There's a lot of things in it that are different from the book, but not too much. So I don't mind it that much. It is still a good film, but there's definitely like one or two things in it I don't like. Like, for example, I didn't like the ending scene where Harry gets the firebolt. I didn't like that. I thought that was really cringe, and also completely wrong time for him to get the firebolt. He's supposed to get the firebolt at at Christmas. Not.
Yeah, he was supposed to get it sooner, and then they know it's from Sirius, and there's this whole big deal of oh, you can't use this fireball because it might be cursed.
Yeah, exactly. He gets the firebolt. He really wants to use it because it's his dream broom. But thanks to Hermione, it gets McGonagall takes it off him, and he doesn't get it back for like weeks. And during that time, Hermione and Ron they just cannot stand to be around each other anymore. They're already on edge at each other's throats anyway because of the whole thing with Scabbers and Crookshanks. But the firebolt thing the whole thing with the firebolt made it so much worse.
I think they just wanted to make it. They wanted a happy ending. They just wanted to stick something happy at the end because it's kind of dreary. Like, oh,
yeah, I know, but
so
yeah, I
not
know,
fair
but
that
I get
Sirius
that.
has to go into hiding.
Yeah, but that final shot of Harry with the big go, yeah, freeze frame. That was so dumb. I hated that.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, I do appreciate your honest opinion on this movie, and thank you for joining us and bringing your knowledge and love of these books and how you feel about the movies. And I can't wait to see what you have to say about the next one. Is there anything you want to share with us before you go?
Believe me, Jill, I'll have a lot to say about the next movie.
Okay,
I can imagine.
I feel like I don't have enough time for these. Like I want to. Anyway, thank you to Dalek for being here, and you can stay as long as you want, but I'm just gonna make you smaller here. Do you have anything you want to promote?
At the moment, not really, except to just say, go check out my channel, go subscribe. I do live stream, I do chill and chat live streams, and I sometimes play games, and if you're lucky, I might do reviews. So go check out my channel. There's some good stuff over there. So, anyway, I really need to go. So so thanks for having me again, Jill, and I'll see you next time. So
yeah, see you next time, Dalek.
Bye, Dalek.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. I don't know why I have the long form of his channel link, but it still works. I'll get the regular one later. So let's get back to the slides, because I'm on a timetable myself. I need a time turner now. Let's go back a few hours and start over.
Yeah, we'll get to. Yeah, these are some very good discussions here where we learn a little bit about the nature, not really Dementors, but it's obvious they're talking about depression. It's maybe a little heavy-handed, but that's okay. This is a simple story.
Yeah, and it's a big, and as it said before, these are adolescent books, and depression is a big emotion to learn about when you're a kid.
Yeah. And you see the weariness that Lupin has as well.
Yes.
Love the hints, the clock. You always see the clock, lots of things with the clock before the clock becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's also foreshadowing. Good point. And here, everything's cold now, so you can't really tell where the Dementors are, since the Dementors are in the cold. And here's Fred and George giving Harry something very special, because they believe he needs it more than they do, and that's true. They're absolutely right.
So the Dementors are just basically ring wraiths, right?
No.
Oh. What's the difference?
Physically, they look like it. Well, first of all, Dementors, they're actually creatures that actually suck out your soul, literally. Like that, and they have a specific action that they do upon people.
What do ring wraiths do?
Well, have you read The Lord of the Rings?
No, I fucking hate that shit.
Oh, well then.
But I'm asking the difference. And despite my distaste, I'm just asking, what is the difference between a ring wraith and a Dementor?
Well, ring wraiths used to be human, and they were corrupted by the ring and became servants of the Dark Lord to you know, do his bidding.
And what do Dementors do?
I just told you they actually have a supernatural power to actually suck out the souls, and they weren't.
Yeah,
once
but
human.
where did they come from? Are they people?
That is like eating for them. It's their food. No, they were never people. They're magical creatures.
So they're like ghosts.
Kind of.
And ring wraiths are corrupted by the one ring that will rule them all.
Well, no, they had rings of themselves, but that's a simple way of putting it. They were actually humans, and again, they don't have that supernatural power to suck out the souls of people.
So what do ring wraiths do? Do they just kill you?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they had any action, that's why, for example, Frodo and all of them could outrun them. That's why Eowyn could kill the Witch King with her sword.
So ring wraiths are slow.
No.
Well, but if they can't catch up.
Well,
I love talking about fantasy with fantasy fans because once you bring
that's not what we're talking about here, though.
Floundering and treading water.
Well, we're getting no. I mean, I would be very happy to discuss it with you if the subject were the Lord of the Rings and the ring race.
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Well, no,
And
I the difference between these phantoms.
Well, I think she described them perfectly well. And we can
All right,
move
well
on
then let's move on, and I will go on.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Great line.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great line. And
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed. Otherwise, anyone can read it.
And so they give him the map so that he could sneak into Hogsmeade, and with his invisibility cloak, and he doesn't.
I really like how in this movie they make it so that the invisibility cloak, it's like Harry, it's not. It's an invisibility. It's not an invincibility.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, we know
but
where
also
you're
the map.
going.
Well, Fred and George know where he's going because the map tells them, and so he gives them.
Oh, I love
they
the map.
They give him this map. It's kind of like Google Maps, but on parchment paper of Hogwarts, and tells you where everyone is, and very important. Very cool stuff. And it was, of course, created by Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, which are the Marauders, which I think it's a thing that isn't described too well in the movie, but we described it pretty well in this podcast already.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I would like to say, I would like to give big shout out to the art direction of the map, because first things first, there are 11 minutes of credits at the end of this movie, which I was like, you're kidding me. 11 minutes. And part of the reason that I was late to this is because I could not take my eyes off of the credits because it was the map. Fucking
yeah, the
loved
credits
it.
are cool.
Sorry about the swears. Kinda.
There we go.
Perfect
I love
timing.
this. We get a good look at the sweet shop finally.
Yes, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And
What time do you have to get
but
out of here, Jill?
poor Neville gets his lollipop stolen. I've got.
Which is kind of gross.
I've
if you
got
think
30
about it.
minutes. I've got 30
Okay.
minutes left.
We have a lot of movie.
We do have a lot of movie, but
I can't wait until it starts.
okay, it has started.
No, it doesn't start until an hour and 40 minutes
every
in.
scene I think has been important, but it's okay that you don't agree.
Yeah, I like the fact that I like the fact here. Yeah, when he goes filthy little mudblood, and this is almost beyond your normal bullying, if you know what I mean. I mean,
It's
what he's
racism.
saying to her is really despicable. And
Yeah.
when Harry starts to hit him with the snowballs, I think that's awesome.
Yes.
It is. It is a great moment, and they're extremely frightened, as they should be, as they deserve, and they run off. That's good. That's good stuff. And
I
what
still
else?
wish
And
that Harry and Hermione got together, but they didn't.
it's an important scene because there's the shrieking shack, which is going to be part of the climax.
Mm-hmm. And Madame Rosmerta, played by Julie Christie, big actress. And Ron fancies her, so you hear a little bit of the jealousy coming from Hermione.
Oh, whoa! I didn't think about it like that. And I think someone said earlier the shrinking heads were in the book for this pub, but
did we lose Dalek?
Oh yeah, Dalek had to go. He said goodbye.
Oh,
yeah.
And this is where Harry finds out that Sirius is his godfather, and that he also, according to popular belief, of course, we find out this isn't true later. Sirius apparently was the secret keeper for Lily and James' location, and he gave up their location to Voldemort. But in actuality, Sirius changed secret keepers to Peter Pettigrew, which is what we eventually find out. And Pettigrew was the one who actually betrayed the Potters. So Sirius actually had a good plan. He just trusted the wrong person.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Now we're at the part where the movie starts.
Yeah. He tries his best, Daniel Radcliffe, with the acting here, but he doesn't quite get it, but that's okay. I mean, that's a difficult scene to pull off for a child actor.
Well, not only
I
that,
think it's okay.
but it's also like you have to, and at least in my opinion, take into account the first two were directed by Chris Columbus. The first two had Richard Harris, and there was a familiarity. And now everything sort of gets turned on its ear, but that also, from what I understand, is interesting for the audience and also interesting for the characters.
But I think you're right, Teresa, that I don't really think that Harry wants to kill anybody, so it's not very convincing that Harry wants to kill Sirius Black.
Mm-hmm.
No, Harry's really committed to murder. He's just been talked out of it every time he wants to.
But there is one more lesson that Harry needs to learn. He needs to learn how to defeat Dementor by way of a boggart. So the boggart scene earlier was very important.
Yeah.
Because it's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the advanced charm, and so we get to see Harry's predisposition towards being really great at defense against the dark arts here.
Expecto Patronum.
Here's a question that I have. Where did he get all of those spines? I think it's really creepy that he has a lot of spines and he's a werewolf. Did he collect the spines from all of his victims?
Spines?
What is with the spine candles?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
It's gross and weird.
I don't know about that, but I need to get this clip. Oh, not that one.
See, this is my problem when talking to fantasy fans, is that when you do point out things that are very obvious, and then they're like, I don't know, magic, or I don't know, it's not important. And it's like, no, that man has like 12 spinal columns in his office. And everyone's
it's a good question. I just don't know everything.
What a lovely decoration.
I have to admit, I do know a lot about Harry Potter, but I do not
the man's
know why.
A werewolf, Jill.
I don't know why there are spinal column.
Because he's murdered a lot of people as a Lupin lichen werewolf.
And you think he just like collects all that? Yes, seem in character.
He's like the Predator.
That doesn't feel in character for Lupin. I don't think he would collect trophies from his victims that he didn't intend to kill.
So why does he have so many spines?
It's a good question for the director and set designer.
I think it's a good answer from a wizard, Harry.
Anyway,
There's a
I
lot
did.
of callous dismissal of life.
I have
Expecto Patronum!
I did. Oh, that's not the good one. Yeah, but that's
yeah. The it is quite epic when he does the big one. That I just love it so much.
See?
Yeah, but
you
here
bring
we
up
go.
spines and everyone's all moving on.
And he
I'm
goes.
so sorry, Scotty, that I don't
No,
have the
don't worry
answer,
about it.
but
I'm
I'll
sorry,
put
I'm
that
just
on my
being a
notes.
jerk.
Maybe I'll answer it later for you.
No,
when
Well, I think you
can,
want to
but
discuss the
here-
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Well, yeah, you are, but it's. I already admitted that I don't know.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Move on. Forward.
Yeah. And so I didn't get the clip for those. For some reason, I messed up with that.
Look at those spines. It's almost H.R. Giegerish.
A bit. It is an interesting choice. I really don't know why they're there.
It's fucking weird, yo.
But every time Harry passes out, he gets more chocolate. Oh no. So it's fine. So don't worry about that.
Anyway,
yeah, he almost does.
So, he has to come up with a better memory than riding on his broom. So that was closer.
Which is
He did
also
better.
like so lame. It's like, oh, I remembered the first time I flied. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that
oh, so
wasn't a
that
good
was
enough
important.
memory.
But when you got on the back of the griffin, not a griffin, you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And it's like, so why? What?
Either of those would have been good enough.
I really
Apparently,
don't.
a memory of his parents talking vaguely that he's not even sure is real is a more powerful, happy memory.
What's the next movie?
Defend against the Dementors is the Goblet of Fire is the next.
Yeah,
one.
I can't wait for that one. I don't like this at all.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not, and I'm
And Ron lost.
apologizing.
Okay, I don't care. Ron lost his rat, and so he's accusing Hermione of having killed it. Oh, right. And Hagrid, basically, Malfoy's dad has recommended a death sentence and got it because the current wizarding government is completely corrupt and terrible. So they agreed to kill Buckbeak.
Which is
again,
really terrifying.
Yeah. And it's showing, like I was saying earlier, that while Hagrid in a way has a good heart, that there was a little bit of a dark side to his recklessness in bringing a hippogriff to them.
No.
Yeah.
This is the weird thing.
I do agree
Is
with
that Hagrid takes them to Buzzlebeak or whatever his name is. And he's like, this is a very specific and very dangerous creature. What you have to do is bow, gain respect, and pat. And all of those things are based on consent. That is what Hagrid is teaching these children. And then the Malfoy son of a bitch shows up and he's like, fuck you, chicken. And it goes crazy train on him. And I'm like, good. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, Draco was a victim. And it's like, no, Draco was being a dick.
Draco.
And now we have to murder this mystical animal.
Well, part of that's the corruption that his father, because his father like bribes everyone and all that. It was him.
Oh,
that
that's
was
true. That's true.
The force behind that.
And we'll see. We've already seen hints of how he's doing things for Voldemort, even though Voldemort isn't fully back to power yet. So he's showing hints of his evil, even in the last book, of all the items that he turned in, so the Ministry wouldn't get in trouble with the Ministry.
Is this the only movie that really
Lucius
doesn't have Voldemort as a villain?
This is one of yes.
Okay.
Correct. But in a way, it's still tangential to it because Peter Pettigrew that's what was important about Trelawney's prophecy when he said it wasn't important. It's important because it tells you that Peter Pettigrew is Voldemort's servant.
Mm-hmm.
And
he looks that way.
And so Harry finds that Peter Pettigrew, who's supposed to be dead, is somehow wandering around Hogwarts. So he tries to find him. Of course, can't find him because he's a rat, and he sneaks past him. But it's also a really great Snape scene, a really wonderful scene to explain everything between Snape and James.
Yeah, it's like Harry's like a surrogate for what both of them, him and Lupin, have about their maybe somewhat unresolved issues, but definitely Snape. It's like he feels like he's doing it to James, and that's what makes it kind of wrong, inappropriate.
Oh, definitely.
How extraordinarily like your father.
There we go.
Potter, he too was exceedingly arrogant, strutting about the car.
And then Harry Potter says to him,
"My dad didn't strut, and nor do I."
Fuck off. Everyone struts. People feel good. They want to show off. Everyone struts. So, Harry, reel it in. And also, don't yell at somebody because of their large nose. It becomes anti-Semitic at a certain point.
That was okay. And I'm going to skip the weird sentence that you just said. And it wasn't Harry who made fun of Snape's nose. It was the map.
Messrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs offer their compliments to Professor Snape and request that he keep his abnormally large nose out of other people's business.
I think he's lying. I think he's making shit up.
No,
I think
that's
he's just saying
written,
things off the top of his head.
But that's
you think
incorrect.
that Harry's being honest here?
No, I don't think. I know for a fact that the parchment says those words.
Well, then the parchment is anti-Semitic. Even though Snape is not of the Judean.
Why are you going there? Like, why does that have to be a thing? Like, it's people.
Unusually
people
large
of all
noses is an anti-Semitic slur.
Yeah, but people of all cultures have noses of different sizes, and I don't think it's relevant.
Yeah.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Well, and this is also maybe indirectly showing the bullying that they did do, because they would make fun of his nose, they would make fun of his face, they made fun of his greasy hair, and so this is what the Marauder's map would say to Snape.
All you are doing is make me feel more sympathetic to Severus.
Yes, and that's intentional.
The reason he acts like this is because he is the #1 Harry Potter fan. He is a true fan. And people always tell him, you don't know. And he's like, I fucking do.
He does.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
No, and that's the whole aspect of it, and that's what makes Snape such a complex character.
Mm-hmm. He is my favorite character, by the way.
And that's fair. Alan Rickman is incredible and does a great job of portraying. He knows everything all along. He knows the end of the end game. And so it makes this performance even better.
So in this movie, or in this movie series, does he end up getting the money from the Nakatomi Plaza or not? Oh, wait, it's not Christmas yet.
Yeah. And I like this. I really like how he kind of scolds Harry here. This is the first time that we see the teacher-pupil relationship where he's being incredibly stern, and he's like, listen, your parents gave their lives for you, and you're wandering around knowing that there's a killer after you. And he balls him out.
Yeah, and then he confiscates it. So there is some of that responsibility as a teacher here.
And that's something that I really care about in terms of the character of Snape, is that he is, while an ominous figure, he is also a protector if you have read ahead.
Yes. Well, and there's a scene later where he's shielding the kids from Lupin as a werewolf, where you can see that manifested there. How he
Is
really
Snape a werewolf?
No.
Okay.
He's not.
Also,
But
speaking of werewolves.
And divination, Hermione finally quits a class.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
In all of the classes.
She's like, I'm done.
Like, all of the teachers at Hogwarts are kind of dicks. And I really don't like the fact that she, while divines Hermione's future.
Trelawney does insult her, but I don't think she's even aware of it. Sometimes she does.
No, she's not, because she's,
she's spacey.
Again, I wish this movie was called Hermione Granger and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
But all the teachers are dicks.
Not all the teachers, but
who is not?
This one is more.
Lupin? Lupin's kind of not a dick, but he does.
I wouldn't say that Trelawney's a dick. I think she's more of not aware of what she's doing sometimes, and she flips between being herself, who doesn't really know anything about divination, then she flips to her seer side, and neither the two communicate with each other. And here's her prophecy.
Tonight, he who betrayed his friends whose heart rots with murder.
At what point in the movie does that take place?
I shall break free.
In terms of runtime, at what point does that take place?
Innocent blood shall be spilt.
I'm not sure.
And servant and master shall be reunited once more.
Yeah, magical exposition. I'm bored. Oh my god, I don't like this movie so much.
No, it's just there to tell you that Peter Pettigrew is gonna go hang out with Voldemort soon.
Right, and she never comes back again. She's an exposition machine.
No, she does.
What does she do? After that, what does she do? And remembering watching this movie, I'm watching all of this, and I'm like, I can't wait until I see them do it again later. Oh, I'm so upset at this movie.
Oh, and I really love this because Emma really does knock him out. Like, it actually did hurt. I think she really did hurt Tom Felton, didn't she?
Yeah, good. I think it was unexpected. Wasn't it an improvisation, I believe?
Right, it was supposed to be a slap, not a punch.
Yeah.
So she turned it up.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I liked the fact that she decided not to go with magic and decided to go with, I'm just going to punch you in the mouth.
You foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach! That felt good.
Not good. Brilliant.
I want a lady to punch someone in the face for me.
Well, I do like, though, I mean, what he was saying, which was really
racist.
It's really, well, no, not just that, but like I said, he's just he's bullying. It's on a whole other level, and he deserved to get punched in the face. And it also showed that bullies are kind of cowards because she just hit him and then he ran away. That used to be the way we were taught to deal with bullies, but things have changed, I think, with as it's time and online bullying. That's changed the dynamic of it. But
one of the things that I really appreciated about this is because I always thought that after watching the last one with Lucius Malfoy, and I was like, oh, okay, so like Draco has he has a get out of jail free card now, because if his dad shows up, then we're all in trouble. And I liked that he sort of got comeuppance in this movie. And it was like, no, your dad can't save you all the time.
It's true.
Pumpkins. Oh, poor little Buckbeak. This is just
Yeah.
horrific. This whole thing.
It's terrible. Yeah, it is.
They're gonna behead him.
And I know someone who really hates this movie because of Buckbeak dying, even though Buckbeak comes back.
Yeah. Though technically he never dies because what they see is actually not it happening. Yeah. But still, we really thought it. It was a really good fake out.
It makes us believe that he's dead. And he didn't really. All he really did was chop a pumpkin, right?
Well, no, but the first time they cut off the head of the, griffin.
But no, because it's a closed loop. Like Miss Smart Music said, Buckbeak was never actually killed. All the kids look away in sadness because they think he died.
No, but the first time around he dies.
No, because the whole thing is, remember that what Hermione does affects them in this present because the rock thing hits her. So we're in that world where they have already changed the few. They've changed the past.
You know
already.
what? You're right. You are correct.
Yes, right. Because it's a closed loop.
It's already been done.
Story.
Yeah.
It's already been
it's
done.
Already yes.
Buckbeak has already been saved because they used the time turner.
Yes. Agreed. No argument.
And then they fight.
I stand sheepishly.
Wonk and Willow. This is so.
Yeah, this is actually a silly.
It is silly. It's so silly.
It's really badly done, but okay, fine.
No,
they would have all broken their necks. They would have had sprained ankles. They would have.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have sentient owls in this universe. We can
the thing is, they wanted because it's a movie. They wanted it to be more exciting than all we have to do is sneak over here and press the knot, and it's not going to attack us because that's what the whole thing was supposed to be. But they wanted to liven it up.
Yeah. And then, there he is, where we think he's going to come and kill it. Only one will die tonight, and he's talking about, of course, Pettigrew, but it really looks like he's talking to Ron.
This is where the movie actually starts. This is where the story begins. Everything that you've watched for an hour and 40 minutes is useless treading water and farting in bathtubs. But now we get to Sirius Black, and we get to Professor Lupin, and then we get to see Pete Pettigrew. And this is where the story begins.
In a way, I really do think the adults were in this more, or that we had a flashback to when they were kids more, because I really do enjoy their story more also. Mm-hmm. But I like the whole thing. But
if you have the physical DVD, or if you have this on digital, all you have to do is skip forward to an hour and 40. Actually, I think it's an hour and 37 minutes. And then you can start watching. And that's when this movie gets interesting, because you have to sit through an hour and 37 minutes of boring bullshit. This is where it starts.
Well, and it starts here where Harry thinks Sirius is there to kill Harry, but Lupin comes and disarms Harry.
And just like the last two movies, you're like, oh no, it's the guy who's against the dark arts who's the bad guy. But you find out that he's not. He's actually on the side of the bad guy who's not the bad guy. Everything starts to get interesting right here. Unfortunately, you have to sit through an hour and 45 minutes of this bullshit to get to the good stuff. This is like watching an interview before pornography fucking starts. Sorry about the swear.
And also Hermione when Hermione thinks that he's the bad guy helping the bad guy, but they're really both good guys. Hermione reveals that Lupin's a werewolf because she learned about it when Snape set the essay.
Yeah, and she says, I knew it ever since the assignment that Snape gave us.
Yes, and that was the whole point of the essay, was to reveal that. And so they're ready. Sirius is ready to kill Pettigrew and get rid of Uh-oh. I'm
Sorry.
not on my clips. That's okay.
No, I know. I just wanted to.
Okay, so I'll say that again.
Yes.
Sirius wants to take out Pettigrew for causing the death of Lily and James, and he says the best line in this movie.
Oh, which one?
Wait! I did my waiting! 12 years of it! In Azkaban!
And they were
Gary
so
Oldman in
tormented
this
when he was in
is
Azkaban
so-
too. You're not just in jail; you're around all those Dementors, and you're kind of being driven mad.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, this
and
is.
he was able to keep himself more sane than normal because he was just thinking, "What am I going to do?" He was holding on to one happy thought that he was going to help Harry, that he was going to be with Harry,
Right.
and that was it. That was what kept him going, and kept the Dementors from fully taking him down.
Well, Gary
And
Oldman.
that's why he was
is
able to
here.
escape.
Yeah. Gary Oldman is here, and I'm so happy that I can't. Like, I'm done being bored.
Yeah, and then Harry finally gets the moment where he can confront them and confront him.
But there's still like a who is on whose side, and then we have to like Snape shows up, and then Harry blasts him into a 4-post bed, and then Snape.
Vengeance is sweet.
Once again, you put your keen and penetrating mind to the task, and as usual, come to the wrong conclusion. Expelliarmus!
Why is Snape disposed of in this scene? Why does he even show up to be immediately disposed of? Curious, because I do enjoy Snape, as I've said before, but he gets punched in the face by Harry Potter, and he busts a bed, and then all of a sudden he's asleep and doesn't participate in everything that is going on. And then these guys have their whole, like, they have the thing, and then we show up and we see the ugly guy who was a rat. And
he still thinks
I'm a bad man.
Sirius.
I'm
He still
very
thinks Sirius
sneaky. And it's like, we don't like you. We know we don't like you. I don't know why you've been hanging out with Ron, but it's obviously because
Yes,
you've been
it's really
fucking with
creepy, isn't
Harry.
it?
And like all of this just goes haywire, and we lose Snape. And we're
because he doesn't understand.
No, it's not that I don't understand. It's
No,
just that I
not
don't
you.
care.
Snape doesn't understand. Snape doesn't understand that Sirius.
Why
is
don't they
not-
explain it with rationality and logic?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because the plot has to happen, and they have to pretend that this is exciting, but it's not. It's frustrating.
What's frustrating about it?
Frustrating is saying, hello, Severus. I am Sirius Black. This is my friend, Lupin. We are
he knows
werewolves.
who they are.
And then, yeah, exactly. They
Only
know
Lupin
each
is
other.
werewolf.
They all know each other.
Sirius is just a dog. His animagus is the dog.
No, but this is why I hate this shit, is that it's all melodrama and bullshit.
Well, melodrama is part of it. Yeah,
I
definitely
know.
there's drama in it.
We have the most powerful wizards in the world.
Well,
Three
okay,
of
the
them.
book says
4 of them, if you
he's
count
not only
Harry.
a good guy, but he's going to be like a father figure for Harry. So we needed an actor who could not only
No.
play 2 different parts, but play the transition between the different parts to appear dangerous
Anyway,
and then embrace a tenderness and affection towards Harry. And so
Right.
that was why Gary Oldman got the job. And so yes, it's
no, but the storytelling of this entire process is frustrating and ridiculous.
well,
Now that the movie has started,
those mystery aspects
Now-
are how all of these books are structured. There's always mysteries behind who knows what and who doesn't know, and
but the
ignorance,
first 2 movies
plays
were
into-
engaging and heartwarming. I fell in love with the first 2, and this is just like this is worse than the Fockers.
Are there are too many plot twists for you? I guess. I don't know.
Yes, I'm too dumb to realize what is good about The Prisoner of Azkaban. I am a mental midget when it comes to wizardry.
I'm not calling.
I
you
am
that.
a
I'm just
muggle.
asking.
and
I
I
was
am
just
happy
asking.
about it. No, I don't think you're insulting me. I'm actually just being a goof.
Okay, as long as okay.
Yeah. No, I think this is all. I think that once we get here,
And
if I actually
course.
intellectually look at it, it is stupid. And I can't wait until the time travel.
Okay, and so
'Cause
let me
that's
just
even
explain the
worse.
rest of this stupid movie, which is
Yes.
that what happened way back when is that they thought that Sirius killed 12 Muggles, but it was really Peter Pettigrew, and he had chopped off his finger to make it look like Sirius had destroyed him, and ran off as a rat and disappeared forever until he became Ron's pet, and actually Percy's pet, and then Ron's pet, and then he's missing a toe. The rat's missing a toe, so now that's how they connected to Peter Pettigrew, and so of course we find out that he's been Peter Pettigrew this whole time, not Scabbers. And I do have I do appreciate your perception of this movie, but I do also enjoy it myself at the same time. And he's trying to apologize for he says, I didn't mean to do it, I had to do it, but of course that's not a good excuse. Of course Sirius would have died rather than betray his friends the way that Peter did. And that's when they're about to kill him, but Harry has compassion and doesn't want to kill him, and they listen to him, and that happens. And the actor for Pettigrew is Spall. What's his first name? Spall. Oh, I didn't get his first name, but Spall says Pettigrew is a runt that hangs around. He's the one that's on the periphery of the group. The others tolerate him because they feel sorry for him. And often, like many runts in history, he turns out to be the biggest troublemaker. He also allows Sirius Black to take the rap for him because Pettigrew is very shrewd, cowardly, weak, conniving, audacious, lying little character that is always ready to save his skin. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. He's able to escape because of all of the all that's happening.
Yeah, this is a beautiful scene here, by the way, when Harry and Sirius finally get to talk about.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, everything that happened and their bond. And I remember just being so moved because we knew that Harry was going to be able to have a family. It's like, you could come live with me. And it was like he would never have to go back to the Dursleys. So it's all just so beautiful. And then it falls apart when the moon comes out.
Yes. Yes, right, exactly. And
I thought it was kind of weird.
Lupin, why does Lupin forget to take the medicine? Because he's given a certain medicine that allows him to be a professor because it keeps him from fully becoming aware. He still has to transform into a werewolf, but he's aware he's a werewolf, so he doesn't hurt anybody. Yeah. But for some reason, this time around, he forgot to take that
Not
potion.
this time around, every time, because you'll
not
remember
every
last time. It was like, where's Professor Lupin? And it was
well,
like
he did
ill, and it's like he didn't take his medication because he's
he did.
werewolfing.
No, he did take his medication. You can't stop the werewolfing, but you can make. There is a potion that he's taking.
Yes, there is.
That lets him keep his mind. It lets him keep his ability to control his actions.
We did see Severus take over his class because he didn't take his medication.
And that's still he did take it then. That's still my answer.
Why was he gone? Then why was he missing from class?
Because he still has to change. He still has to look like a werewolf, and you can't teach defense against the dark arts.
I will accept that as a non-answer.
It's not
come on.
answer.
She answered your question.
I know.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
He still has to be aware. Well, and it's not really.
He still has to be a werewolf. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, that's what she said 3 times.
And I'm with you, and I'm sorry.
And the only reason I know how to answer your question is because it is only in the books. They don't really explain the potion. They don't explain it's not this one's not your fault because they don't explain the potion in the movie.
In the book, do they?
They do say it. They do say, "Oh, you didn't take it." Yes, and in the book they explain it a lot better that it's a thing, and so it allows him to keep his mind, but not his physical.
Alec 451 in the chat says, "Scotty, it's not that complicated. You're just being pretentious." Yes.
And I don't know. And if you do have a question about something
No,
that
I'm
you
not.
don't understand,
I'm not worried.
I don't mind answering it.
I just think the whole werewolf thing is weird.
It
And
is.
maybe I'm not grasping it. Maybe I'm not doing it properly.
Well, normal werewolf can't control what they do, but the potion allowed him to control.
No one has a
his
gun
actions.
with a silver bullet.
Hmm.
Are there guns in this
I don't know if
series
that's a
of
thing.
movies?
Well,
Are
first of
there
all,
guns in Harry Potter?
First of all, a gun is a
Vernon had
muggle
one.
weapon, and also even if they could get.
I'm a muggle.
But if you'll let me finish my sentence.
All right.
Okay, they also live in England. People don't really have access to guns, so that's not a thing that they would have. But also, neither would children have guns, or would they be carrying them around?
Well, don't you think that the faculty would have a gun kicking around somewhere?
No, magic is better in this case.
Well, not against werewolves.
Well, they don't need. That would be really sad.
Why?
If
Oh,
they
no.
at this stage.
You know what? I've already been told to stop being so factual with this fantasy nightmare.
I never told you not to be factual.
No, everyone else has, though. It's cool.
Well, no, I don't think anyone has.
So when
Like,
you
you're
find
framing
a
it in a strange
werewolf,
way.
all
That
you
doesn't make
need is a silver bullet and shoot the werewolf with a gun with
Okay,
a
but when you're
silver bullet.
But when you're dealing with fantasy or anything, you have to work within the world that has been presented to you, not the world that you want it to be.
So there are no guns in Harry Potter?
No, and like I said, even if there
That's
was
weird.
within the world, I already explained it to you.
I know, and I'm just tussling.
You are, and I've got 10 minutes actually. I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
do
we
this.
gotta go.
But I don't want to go. I think
No,
I'm just going to be a little
You
bit
sound
late.
like Charlie
Okay, this
X.
is actually one of the greatest scenes ever because this is probably the first time that we see Harry do serious magic intentionally before. Like before he's done like the little magic stuff, but this is where he really comes into his own as a powerful wizard.
Yes, and that's what they say.
Isn't
Only
this-
an extremely powerful wizard could have done this, and that
Isn't
was
this
it.
just when he rewinds and does it again?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Anyway, so now that I've seen the entire movie and I'm going to have to watch it again, I'm going to go. I'll see you
Okay,
guys in the
see you later.
future. And I am very much looking
Bye.
forward to seeing next week because I'm really looking forward to a better movie. I didn't like this. I would give it 9 3/4 out of 11. So I appreciate it. I'm sorry, Miss Martin Muses. I hope you appreciate my tussling and high fives and dodgeball as they were intended. I adore you joining me and teaching me about Harry Potter. But obviously, this one was not to my flavor. And thank you, Jill, for having me. And I will see everyone in the chat later.
Oh, okay. See, now this is where we get to the point of the story where we realize the mysterious thing time and we get the revelation that the time turner is going to be going on. And I really like that. And it's like more
I
than
agree.
one life might be saved. And I mean, we just had that great moment too. I mean, I remember just going to a great high when Harry did the expecto patronum, and of course he hasn't quite figured out how and why he was able to do it. And then, yeah, more than one innocent life will be saved. This is where Dumbledore is very earnest. Like sometimes the interpretation has been that he's a little bit light, maybe even lighter than, or frivolous maybe than Harris. But here you see his sincere earnestness, and I actually didn't get the whole thing about that Hermione was time changing. I didn't, so I enjoyed the revelation.
Me neither. I did too, and I agree. I think Gambin comes into Dumbledore whenever he starts filming this. I don't know on what point in the production that he does this scene, but I think he gets better here.
Yeah.
And the time turner is, so it goes, you turn it and it goes back an hour. So they say 3 turns, that's 3 hours. And right, so this is how we find out how Hermione got to do all of those lessons. I don't know why McGonagall was like, sure, time travel, that's fine. Why don't you have it?
Yeah, something that could change the very fabric of time. Let's just try that. That'll be good.
Yeah.
But I get that they always like in these to be a little bit dangerous, I guess. They don't always think of these kids.
Yeah, so this is where Scotty was saying we got to watch the whole movie all over again.
Yeah, I think it's cool though that you see it from a different perspective, and then slowly you're starting to wonder because why on earth did that little shell thing just come out of nowhere and hit them? Where did that come from? And we see it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let me see where I am.
Yeah, awful things happen to wizards. That's what makes me wonder, like, what has happened when a wizard meddles in the past with a time turner?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, unfortunately, we did kind of get a story. Well, after this book, doesn't J.K. Rowling conveniently destroy all the other time turners, and then we decide that's not going to happen again.
I think so. I don't know. Because, well, because don't they do? I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood. Because don't they do that in The Cursed Child? Don't they use a time turner?
Yes, they do. But I think isn't that some kind of different alternate universe?
Yeah, I don't know how that's supposed to fit into the world. Yeah, there are no more time turners. Okay. Yeah, I've not seen it, so I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's another universe. It's another universe within a universe. And that's, I think, why this one is so cool and maybe even so different. I think that it introduces us to the idea that there are different multiverses.
And I want to tell the chat I will be looking back on the chat when I finish the movie because I'm out of time. So I'm working on getting Hermione to throw the rock at Harry's head so that they could save Buckbeak.
Yeah, save Buckbeak.
Save Buckbeak, and then they've got to get him to move. They've got to bribe him with some ferrets.
Yeah. Well, search the skies if you must. Yeah, it's like you're not going to kill someone today.
Yeah, distracting him by stories about strawberries or something.
Yeah, strawberries.
And Hermione is telling him, "Your dad's not coming. Nobody's coming." And then that's when Harry realizes it's supposed to be him.
Yeah. And it all comes full circle. Oh, yeah, she's also the one that does the mating call. We learned that too for the werewolf. Yeah.
Right.
Yay, Buckbeak.
And that, I don't know, that was a fun mystery for me because I was like, wait a minute, is that another wolf? Is that another werewolf?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Are they going to run across another werewolf?
That was really on my mind the first time I saw this movie. And then there's the Patronus. And sorry, we're skipping through this a little bit quicker because I got to go. Yeah. But Hermione doesn't like to fly, so I love her scream here. That was really well done.
Yeah, he's sitting there trying to explain it. He's explaining the big paradox. He's like, I don't know, I don't like flying. And then she screams.
Oh, right. I do like what Harry says, like you're saying, is I saw myself conjuring the Patronus before. I knew I could do it this time because
I'd done it before. Yeah.
I had already done it, yeah.
I love it. And then, gosh, and they did it so well that where they very quickly were able to establish the bond with him and Sirius, and you have like your father. But then of course they say, but you have your mother's eyes. And I don't know what planet I was living on that I didn't catch on to the whole you have your mother's eyes thing until toward the very end.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
The ones that love us never really leave us.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And that is a big one.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that Scotty got really belligerent and really angry at this movie because he's always gonna passionately express his views on things, and I still think it was interesting to see what he had to say.
Yeah, and he's like,
and there's the compliment.
Yeah, and I also really felt it when he said, it's cruel that I got to spend so much time with James and Lily and you so little.
Yes, that is good stuff. But it also tells him that, oh, right, he's supposed to give him some kind of device where they're supposed to communicate with each other, and I like that too, but it's not in the movie.
Yeah.
It does show up later, but because it has to.
Oh, you've got a super chat?
Oh, wow. I actually got an alert for the super chat. It blinked. That's cool. I never noticed that before. I wonder how long it's been doing that. Not just super chat, also a super sticker. There was a super sticker I missed earlier, which was, let's see if it's still in the chat. It was a super pair. Like a Superman, but a pair flying through the air.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eugene Bird, and thank you, Eugene Bird, for the $4.99. There's a post-Deathly Hallows J.K. Rowling book, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, a fun read, but not intended to be canon. I think that it's only entertaining if you actually go to the theater and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I would do, but I'm not going to read the play because I hear that reading it is no good. You have to watch it. It's all about the effects and everything all about the show.
Yeah.
So if I get a chance to see it, I will.
Yeah. Maybe if it'll come on tour or something. I wouldn't, though, travel to New York just to see it.
Oh, no, me neither. No, it's got to get closer.
Yeah. The score was so magnificent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's too bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, you're right. That is a great Dumbledore moment, and that's where you really he gets it. He gets it there. So even though he's not reading dude. He eventually figures it out.
Yeah.
So Michael Gambon's a good actor, and so he brings something different. He is different, but he's all right.
Yeah.
And did what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. That's how.
Oh, did what? Oh, what he said. Yeah. Sorry, I heard that. I know, gosh, I'm going crazy. Yeah.
I'm going crazy too because I got to finish, and so Lupin gives him back the map.
Yeah.
Sirius goes off to live a life of vagabond with Buckbeak.
Yeah. Well, and he knew that it was going to eventually come out that he was a werewolf and mischief managed. And yay, he gets the firebolt.
Yay. And
yeah,
the part of the movie Scotty likes was the credits.
Oh yeah, I think that it's really cool. I remember seeing it in the cinema and just how cool it was, like with all the footprints and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was loads of fun. And yeah, it was a cheesy ending, but I accepted that. I know Dalek thought it was cheesy, and it kind of was, but it was still fun. It was a fun way to end it. And I mean, the next movie, everything changes, where it just gets so dark, you just can't even get back to any kind of levity. Not really.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And so that's where we're headed. And we'll be covering the Goblet of Fire next time. And we'll see what happens with that. And thank you for joining me on this journey through the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. Inviting me, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I made it to my own live stream. I'm kidding. Sorry. But I had fun, and it's good to talk to somebody who knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to talk to somebody who's never watched these ever before and is a little outraged.
First impressions.
So first impressions are really interesting to gather. And we'll be doing that again next week. Can you talk about what you're doing on your channel and anything at all you'd like to promote, even if it's somebody else?
Oh, well, for sure. You can find me here at Mr. Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Lots of things tick me off lately. I have some more Rings of Power content where I'm going back to the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien or the actual works that you will find in his books about what he wrote, what Galadriel and everyone else was up to in the Second Age. I also have some more House of the Dragon content on the back burner that I'm putting together. You will sometimes find me on Sporking News Network, where we talk about A Song of Ice and Fire, and now and then on La Reina Creole's channel or anywhere all around the net. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a subscribe, if you like fantasy, if you like history, if you like lore, I've got just about everything going on there.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible, and I do enjoy your Lord of the Rings stuff and any literary things you do. You're very interesting. I thought it was interesting when you were talking about psychology. Also, that was an interesting tangent. That you just anything that interests you, you will talk about it.
Yeah, psychopaths for no reason whatsoever. I had psychopaths, narcissists, and sociopaths on the mind.
No, that was good, but that will come up with Harry Potter when we examine Voldemort's character.
Oh yeah, he's a nut.
He's definitely the sugar shack. the shrieking shack. Oh wait, the sugar shack is Honeydukes.
Oh yeah, hey, I'll take a sugar any day.
Yeah. If I find candy on the ground, I just rinse it off. I'm just going through the chat a little bit. I gotta go, but I know I didn't get to talk to the chat as much as I like. I really like to see what everybody has to say. I have Sentai Ranger Johnny here. Hello. I'm glad you ended up stopping by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where I was. The Dementors, government interference in the school. Dumbledore didn't like that. Yeah, he did not.
Yeah.
And Max Redstone had to leave, but I'm sorry I missed you.
Cast the spell on the light.
Your departure. Oh, nice, good one. The Dementors are soul vacuum cleaners. Nazguls are immortal ghosts. Oh, I wish I would have read that chat earlier. And Scotty was so confused. That was so sad. I couldn't believe Dumbledore couldn't override this permission slip, knowing Harry's situation. But they figured it out for the next book.
Yeah,
I forget how that works.
Oh, Sirius, because Sirius was his guardian. Yeah,
right, Sirius.
Technically, he was his godfather, so it counted. They were like, "Oh,
Right.
It's his godfather signed off on it."
He's a criminal, but he's still family, so it counts.
Yeah.
Where is he anyway? We gotta find that guy.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
boy.
And then Daniel Topics was here. This movie's so awesome, but I think the first ones are better for me. So Daniel also likes the first two better, or the first one. Eugene Bird says incredible stream and movie. I hoped Scotty would like it. I will listen to Jill and you on the replay.
Maybe your minions. Sometimes the autocorrecting.
I don't know.
Is Harry Potter
sociopath? If you ask Scotty, yes. Apparently. He blows up his aunt and he says mean things to Snape. And oh my god, if you just listen to Scotty, it just sounds like Harry is so rude.
Well, he was a little piece of crap, but yeah, it was the Marauder's map speaking.
You're right. It was the Marauder's map, and he wasn't in control of blowing up his aunt. And, I guess nice Giger reference. Oh yeah, about the spine candles. I have no idea whose idea it was, but it's sure ruined my day today.
Well, I mean, things that are just because they're in the movie. I mean, they put things in the movies sometimes that don't make sense, and we've kind of been making that clear. Is that I don't know, and it wasn't it was just a candle mold. It wasn't like a real spine, so I don't know.
Right, it could have just been a style.
Yeah,
not really
like a Halloween shop, you know. I mean,
it
it's
definitely wasn't Lupin. It definitely wasn't Lupin ripping
No, it's nothing to do with
out
that.
of his victims.
Yeah, it's
It's hilarious though to think about, but no, he would never do that. Daniel's Hot Topic says, "Oh, right," because I did say I would read any of the chats that did mention Maggie Smith. That was a venerable British actress, dies at 89. She played the witch Professor McGonagall. Minerva McGonagall. Daniel, thank you. Harry never saw Pettigrew on the map in the book, but yes, of course, I ran out of time to explain book versus movie stuff because that would have taken. There was a lot more. Hermione Granger and the irregularities of hormones.
Well, she was a teenager, so
It's true. In this movie, Voldemort never appears. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, the only one.
And Dalek likes the change from the slap to the punch. Oh, and Ashley is on Scotty's side. Poor Scotty, that analytical brain is not letting you just enjoy the magic. And the present timeline, Buckbeak dies the first timeline, and then he's saved in the second timeline. I don't know. I don't think it works like that. Well,
I mean, there was a timeline where he was killed.
Yes,
but
correct.
The one that we see is the one where it's already been changed. It's a mind twister.
It is because they do the time travel so perfectly, and because once the time travel shenanigans begin, that's when Buckbeak is already saved. Because we'll see, and we did.
Yeah,
it is confusing.
Oh, I remember the first time being presented with this and just, talking it out, for hours and figuring it all out.
Dalek is getting angry in the chat. I did my waiting. And 12 years of it. In Azkaban. Oh, he played that role so well, yes.
Good stuff.
It's funny. Stop whining. If you think this is melodramatic, just wait. It gets way worse. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, definitely.
Scotty came with fire in his blood this morning. Scabbers is a dude. Yep, this is true. Timothy Spall. Thank you, Dalek. Yeah, I didn't have time to go check the facts.
You had to go Google it.
Oh yeah, he read that one, so we're good there. Hold up, there's access in the United Kingdom. It's just incredibly limited.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just, but it's also not part of the world. But I was just saying, it's not like here in America where it's like, oh, you can all just get a gun, or kids can have guns, under 8. It's not the same. And I don't want to get into a gun talk, but yeah, but I do.
But. I mean, that is something a lot of people ask. Why doesn't Voldemort just use a gun? Because he hates Muggles, and he would never use a Muggle weapon.
Exactly. Yeah. And even so, Harry and them would not be carrying around guns. I mean, students wouldn't, and teachers wouldn't either. Even in America, we don't have that. Yeah.
It's true, too. That's a fair point. Greek letter says, I believe at some point the next movie was supposed to be Harry Potter and the Cursed Blackheads.
Oh
They
no.
Mhm.
uh,
Oh, that's a poll for next time. Magical ones versus the Gatling gun.
oh dear.
Enchanted Gatling gun? All right. Again,
Yeah,
why?
I understood. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. Booger was saying, yeah. That's why I said I didn't want to get into the weeds of the guns because, yeah, you are correct. There's nuance with that, so I didn't want to get into the details about.
Oh, and I think we got
people with guns.
Yeah. No, but there is a funny clip where you replace all the wands with guns, and when Hermione ends up shooting Neville, and it's kind of funny.
Oh
the way
dear.
that they the way that it goes down.
Oh my gosh.
I'll send that to you later. I don't have time to look for it now. Oh, if you really like Harry Potter, I recommend a channel called Super Carlin Brothers. Thank you, Dalek.
Okay.
I thought I was done with the chat, but there's more.
Yeah,
And Dumbledore doesn't like Dementors because he knows what their true natures are. And DJ Play Nice says, thanks for hosting. Thank you. Okay, I was almost there. Kids cannot just get guns in America. That idea is paddle them for the math.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I kind of stopped myself. It's like, I know there's some nuance, but I mean, there's times that kids can use hunting guns, for example. When I say kids, I'm not talking children. But yeah, but definitely not at a school and definitely not in England, even if they wanted to use Muggle guns.
Yeah,
And they
but
wouldn't-
I
you know,
am.
they don't want to kill them either. You know, that's their friend.
Yeah, exactly. The killing curse gets you into Azkaban, and so having a gun is just not proper for wizards, just in general. Just for their laws, you can use dueling spells, but non-lethally.
Yeah.
I guess. And so they do have their rules, and I guess that would be part of it. Maybe I'd have to look into the laws. I don't think they talk about guns, and do they? Oh yeah, they do. They say misuse of Muggle artifacts, and that's it. That's it. Wizards using guns is against the law. All right. Well, at least we finally answered the question long after he left. But I can't wait to talk to you about the Goblet of Fire. I'll see you next time. And thank you for joining me, everybody.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I'll see you all in cyberspace. Thank you to the chat as well.
Yes. And
Mischief managed. Nox.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
Mischief managed. Nox.